Hello, everybody out there in podcast land. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by our favorite tax guy, David Roque. It's that time of the year. It's tax season. Tax season is incredibly daunting. It's intimidating. It's a time of the year that you really need somebody on your side that understands how to get you the most out of, everything that you've worked for all year. So having somebody that you are not intimidated to go and speak with and ask questions, somebody that's going to do whatever they can to make sure that you can maximize your returns is crucial during these times. David is an accountant and paintball player from South Florida with over 6 years of personal and corporate tax experience. And he has clients throughout the United States. So it doesn't matter what state you're in, he knows the legislation and he's willing to do whatever he can to make sure that you feel comfortable in getting, the most out of your return and are confident that his filings are, done with due diligence. And I can personally say so far, David has been excellent. We are so incredibly happy to be working with him with Play the Game podcast. He is doing all of the PTG filings and tax returns, and so far he's been absolutely amazing. We have a pretty complex situation with Tyler being in Arizona and myself being in California, so he has been amazing at answering all questions and making sure that we are comfortable in filing this return. He's really good at maximizing your return and making sure that you keep all the money that you can out of the money that you earned. So why not go with him? If you have a small business or have thought about starting one, David is also there to help you out with understanding corporate taxes. He can help establish your business, start up payroll, or help with bookkeeping. This is all really important stuff, and this is stuff that we're learning, Tyler and myself, along the way. We need better techniques, and we're going to be using him going forward, absolutely. Let him know that you're a fellow paintball player and that you're recommended by us at Play the Game, and he will make sure to help you out for under $200 for a federal and state return. I mean, that's crazy. That's great prices. If you guys have gone to H&R Block or any of these other places, they charge a hefty fee. It's pretty expensive to do your taxes. So we have somebody in the paintball community that is offering a great service at a premium price. And we hope that you guys definitely check him out. You can find him at his email, droque954@gmail.com. That is DROQUE954@gmail.com. He's fantastic. Check him out 100%. It is Roque Accounting. That is his company. That is his business. This is what he does, and he's here to help you. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Lone Wolf Paintball. Lone Wolf Paintball is an online supplier that has been around for a very long time. They've actually been Michigan's premier paintball field and supplier since 1987. Now expanding into the online retail store, they are really trying to do their best to supply everything you need to the paintball community. They have it all. You can head over to lonewolfpaintball.com. If you want Field 1, HK, GI, Dye, it doesn't matter. They got it. You can surf the website. You can check it out. They have what you need, guaranteed. And they also boast excellent customer service and same-day shipping. That's pretty badass. You could go to the website, order something, and it's going to be sent out that day. That's fantastic. That's amazing customer service. So again, guys, if you would like, you could head over to lonewolfpaintball.com. You could also check them out on YouTube and Instagram. Their Instagram is lonewolfpb, and their YouTube is Lone Wolf Paintball. And you can see and keep up to date with all their latest deals, their sales, their content. It's a lot of really fun stuff. Play the Game podcast is excited to have them on board, and you guys should head over and become part of the community. All right. This episode is brought to you by Transfuse. Transfuse is the only all-natural electrolyte drink that you guys need to have in your cabinets. We love this stuff. We've been using this for an entire season now. This stuff is amazing. I feel great when I drink Transfuse. I drink it every single day. I don't go a day without putting a packet of Transfuse in my water. It's very easy, very portable, easy to travel with, and delicious to drink, which means that you're going to love drinking it and you're going to drink more of it, which is going to be incredibly beneficial to your health. Has magnesium, potassium, sodium, which are all amazing for proper hydration. It has zinc, vitamin C, vitamin B, and choline. These things are incredible cognitive enhancers and immune boosting formulas that you don't want to miss out on, especially in times like this. I'm telling you, I drink Transfuse every single day. I love it. Tyler does as well. Anybody who has tried it has been just pouring with great feedback back to us. There's a reason that they're at all the NXL events, and a lot of the top teams and top professionals are using this product. Do not walk around dehydrated. I never realized how dehydrated I was, even when I was drinking all sorts of water. It's not enough. You need the proper nutrition. You need the right ingredients. Transfuse has done a great job of curating the perfect formula. Transfuse is absolutely spectacular. And for all of our listeners, there is a special deal for any Play the Game listener. If you head over to translabs.com, that's TRANZLABS.com, and use code PLAYTHEGAME at checkout, you will get 10% off. If you subscribe, which means they auto ship you your package every single month, whatever you want, whatever type, whatever flavor, whatever electrolyte formula you desire, they will give you an additional 11% off. So it becomes a 21% discount exclusively for all Play the Game listeners. Huge shout out, and we are incredibly thankful for our supporters. And if you guys would like to go support them, it's translabs.com. Use code Play the Game. We are brought to you by Heal Brand. Heal Brand is the best CBD company that we have ever come across. I've been taking CBD products for years now, and I absolutely love it. But Heal Brand has taken my CBD consumption level to the next tier. This stuff is really the luxurious, high-quality, best brand that you're going to come across. Their whole claim to fame is the nanotechnology. It's the real deal. The claim is that through their nanotechnology, the CBD can actually break through the cellular wall and get into the bloodstream much faster and more efficiently. So you need less to do more. Often CBD products, you'll need to take it for a couple weeks before you really start noticing all of the benefits. With this stuff, as soon as you take it, you notice it right away. Within 15, 20 minutes, you're feeling the benefits of CBD. CBD is great for inflammation, anxiety, sleeping, all sorts of different stuff. CBD is really exploding on the scene because it has such a wide variety of benefits. I personally love to use CBD before I go to bed so I can get a full, well-rested night of sleep. Sleep is so crucial. It's so important. If you want to recover well, if you want to fight off depression and anxiety and those unwanted emotions, proper sleep is where you need to start. CBD products really help me do that, and Heal Brand CBD has a wide variety of options of different products, different formulas. It is all natural. It's amazing. This stuff is fantastic. You guys can head over to healbrand.com, check them out, and there is an exclusive offer to all of our PTG listeners. If you use code PLAYTHEGAME at checkout, you'll get 10% off. All right, PTG fam, welcome back to the show. Tonight we have Greg Siewers on from LA Infamous. Greg has been around the game for a really long time, one of the most dedicated and determined players that has ever played the game of paintball. He is relentless in his attack, his approach. He also owns Map Training, which is a physical training company designed to make you, a better athlete and just overall performance, both, on and off the field. So it was great to sit down with Greg and talk with him. He's played on a lot of legendary franchises. We got to share some awesome stories. Greg is an old teammate of mine, and Tyler as well. So it was, again, just some great conversation, a lot of fun, and you guys are going to enjoy this one. See you in there.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication. And the crowd starts chanting Harmon. Great shot by all the guys. So Tyler Harmon saved that game. He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
Greg Siewers, my man, dude. We finally got you on the show. It's been a little bit of a thing to get you on, especially the past couple weeks. I know you're busy. You're running a big time business over there, trying to balance, dad life, the map training thing, and obviously a very successful and luminous paintball career. But thank you for finally gracing us with your presence, brother.
I've been counting down, man. We've been talking about it for a while, so I'm glad we made it happen.
Yeah, of course.
Dude, thank you for stopping by. I know you've been busy with being a father. Talk to us about that.
Dude, we've done some crazy shit in our lives. Being a dad is probably one of the top. You know what I mean? Like, I ran with the Bulls and I have a baby. Like, that's where I'm at. Yeah. No, it's cool, man. He just turned 1 in February. He's running around, babbling, and he's a daredevil, dude. If you try to throw him in the air or sprint with him, he is just all giggles. It's awesome.
Do you have him drinking Dunkin' Donuts coffee yet?
Well, duh. You don't, come on, man. You don't join this family and not drink some DD.
That's true. That's a fact.
Did you almost pass out in the delivery room like me? Now, mind you, the doctor asked if I want to help with the delivery, and I said yes, and I was had the leg up and everything. So that's why I almost passed out, but it was pretty heavy duty in there.
No, dude, they looked at me and they're like, "This guy doesn't want none. Stay down there." You're just 100%. I was more like freeze frame, like.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah.
I feel like, look, there's doctors that are excellent. Honestly, Ty, I love that you I wouldn't see it any other way with you, actually.
Yeah. Oh,
I know for sure that I'm probably going to be in the other room.
Yeah, no. Here's what I tell everybody. There's like they have the cloth on them, you know? Just don't go below the cloth. Stay above the cloth and you'll be fine. But I went below the cloth and it was crazy.
You saw the Demogorgons.
Dude, oh man, my knees got shaky. I was like, I'm not gonna make it, Doc. You're gonna have to get somebody else.
That's funny, man.
Oh man.
They make clamps for this dude. I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Greggy, where you tapping in from, man? Let's give the listeners a little inside peek to what's going on with you right now.
Scoping. So I'm in Lincoln, California. I'm a little in the nicer area outside of Sacramento.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Lincoln's great.
Beautiful, sunny, 90 degrees out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lincoln's awesome. And we actually moved here like right at the beginning of COVID. Got a killer deal on a house. We're in a great neighborhood, and it gave me a free week to move in. So that was awesome.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
What does like a typical day in the life of Greg look like? I know you're running a business as well. Yeah. You're a father. You got a lot of things that you're juggling, and I mean, you're no slouch on the paintball field, of course. You know what I'm saying? So you got a lot of things that you got going on.
Dude, so Monday through Friday, it's really simple. I wake up around 2:45, 3. I'm at work before 4. I come home around 5. Just straight sessions, training, building the gym, mostly just sessions, dude, back-to-back hours. And when I come home, I take over the baby for a little while, so my wife gets a little ease.
Yeah.
Dinner, bed, do it all again, dude.
Yeah,
she also, maybe she doesn't now, but didn't she also have a career, I think, in real estate? Or am I wrong?
Dude, when I say she was literally closing the deal while she was having the baby, I mean she was literally closing the deal while she was having the baby.
Damn.
Yeah, she's lights out, man. No, so she's still full force. She actually broke away a step further and completely has her own brokerage and property management.
There we go.
Yeah,
crushing it.
Power couple.
Dude, I try to be cool. She's got me beat.
Nice. Like, hey, dude, he made it. That's a dude, bro. Nice work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Here you go. Hey, babe, I'm gonna play paintball this weekend. Is that cool? Yeah. All right.
Are you getting paid?
And it's the teamwork too. Like it all plays hand in hand, kind of, right? You got to be a good teammate in the house and helping out and being able to support everything.
Oh, there's been a handful of clients that have definitely met my son Asher because I'm holding them during a session while she's showing houses. Like that happens, but you wheel and deal, man. Like where there's a will, there's a way. So it's been it's been pedal to the metal, but it's good.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. That's actually a big reason I'm so excited to talk to you, Greg, because that has been your philosophy for as long as I've known you. I've known you. It's been 13 or 14 years now, you know, like that's crazy. It's a long time. You know, you came out to that Ironman tryout, made the team. We won a world championship together. Like long time, but your whole motto for as long as I've known you has been to just work your ass off. Mm-hmm. Like no matter what it is, just sacrifice. I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to drink 1 million Dunkin' Donuts coffees and be good to go to make whatever the task at hand is. You're just going to do whatever it takes to get it done. And that's a mentality that is, a lot of people could learn from and a lot of people strive to have, but not many people could walk in those shoes.
Mm. Yeah, man. I'd like to attribute that to my parents, right? I don't know what exactly they did, but I got it from somewhere, right? My dad's a badass, you know him.
Dad's a super badass. He still intimidates me to this day. I've known him for 13 years, and I'm like, hey, you're gonna break my hand or shake my hand? Which is it?
You never know, man. You never know. But
hey, Greg, your parents, you have the greatest parents. They're the best. I just want to be on the record saying that.
Can we get some puppy chow sent to the Play the Game team?
Yeah.
Dude, you might. I mean, mom's going to watch this for sure. So
dude,
she might drop a mail.
Oh, I miss mom's puppy chow. Is the best, dude. Mama Siewers is the best.
Was it my sister? It might have been Jen who made the puppy chow. And then
yes.
Cookies.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Actually, I was gonna bring up your sister as well. I just, thought that maybe be inappropriate. Didn't want to do that.
You know us professional athletes like, yo, can I get some puppy chow and cookies before the game?
Yeah. That was the business. I never had puppy chow before that, dude. I didn't even know what it was.
Can somebody please explain what is going on here with this?
You don't know what puppy chow is? Ty, you don't know what puppy chow is? See, no. I'm telling you, us West Coasters, we don't know what that is. It's an East Coast thing for sure.
You are welcome.
Greg, bless me with the knowledge.
Yes. So check it. It's like Czech cereal mix. and they stir in peanut butter and chocolate and powdered sugar and then some sort of other magic, and it comes out into this clumpy, delicious, like fat kid snack. And
It's so good.
lights out. You know when you come off a paintball field and you're like really kind of just stirred up, adrenaline's pumping,
Yeah.
you're not sure what you need, it's probably puppy chow.
Puppy
It's
chow.
Puppy chow.
It's
Well,
so
do you
good.
bake it? What do you?
Yeah,
I
it gets
mean,
baked. It gets
okay.
baked and then it re-hardens. I don't even think it's frozen.
So it's
never
almost
fallen.
like a Rice Krispie treat just taken to the
Yes.
next level.
Yeah, if you want to like insult it, it's a Rice Krispie.
Yeah,
treat.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, that is insulting on what it is. Man, it is so good, dude. It is so good. Puppy
Man.
chow is, it like holds a fond place in my heart. Just remember every time it got brought to the events, I was so happy.
Okay.
That's how I know it was a long time ago. That's how you know
Yeah,
it was good.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is over 10 years ago.
Oh, that's on the list, man. I gotta have some puppy chow. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna get some. We're gonna hold you. We got to get the fam to send us,
Mhm.
get the sister to send us some puppy chow. We'll have it here on PTG show, and
Yeah.
and,
Bookmark it. 7 minutes in. All right, watch the show.
Bookmark it. Yeah.
So, hey, talk to me about what map training is. That is what you've been working really hard on for a long time. We've known each other for a long time as well, you know, back to Oakland days and all that kind of stuff with Bob Long. And you even were, like Marcelo said, you work harder than anybody, man. Like you really do. You give your whole heart and your skin in the game, you know, to be the best that you possibly can be. And talk to us about what you've been doing with your training, with the map training.
Sure. So the relentless thing, man. I looked at paintball, and you know, you can kind of pat yourself on the back. I mean, both of you guys know how to do it, right? But
You just got to stay dangerous.
Stay dangerous.
You just got to stay dangerous, baby. Oh, nice hat. I like that.
The idea is, to me, was, look, man, if I can pour myself into one thing, I should be able to do it in another. And at the end of the day, paintball's dope, but it's not going to help me drive a Lamborghini, and I want to do that someday. So
No. Listen, bro. Sorry to interrupt. You want a Tesla? Fuck a Lamborghini.
dude, I know. I mean,
I'm telling you,
great and all, but I don't have traffic here in Lincoln. I'm cool.
Dude, you don't need traffic, you don't need carpool, but you want a Tesla. You know why? You have an entertainment system. You have it's honestly, it makes Lamborghinis look stupid. It's unbelievable. I know
Dude,
you're like the muscle car guy.
No, dude.
It
I
makes
need a
Lamborghinis
Lambo.
No, I'm telling you guys, go sit in a Tesla and you're gonna change your mind. I thought that too. I thought it too. Dude,
Yeah.
I'm blown away.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I'm
Lambos
blown away.
are like way far past, out of date. It's everything. But I told 12-year-old
Antiquated.
me was like, "Yo, Greg, you're gonna drive a Lambo." And I was like,
Yeah,
"All right,
true,
12-year-old
true.
me, I got this."
Like the one from Dumb and Dumber. It's gonna be like bright orange.
Like green dog map is green. I don't know.
Green. Okay. Yeah. True. Lime green. There we go.
You are right though, Marcelo. The Tesla and the telecom that they have in
It's
this
crazy.
thing, you're in a computer. Yeah.
Dude, I literally it's unbelievable, dude. Every single car seems just antiquated, seems stupid, seems like they have low IQ. It's unbelievable. I'm blown away. I'm blown away.
The cars have low IQ.
They do, dude. They've got low IQ, bro. I'm telling you.
Oh, that's
I'm
great.
telling you, their IQ is just, it's like, can you solve a problem? No, I didn't think so. I don't want you.
So the map thing, you know, me and my stupid car, we drive to the gym every day. And
Where do you drive, Greg? Don't you have like a Mustang? You got like an American flag kind of car, I think.
no, I did have a Corvette for a little while.
Oh, that's
but
right. It's a Corvette.
Not exactly a family car. So
No.
I drive an F-150 now.
Okay,
There we go.
There you go. That's an American flag car.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yes,
big time.
America all up over
Ford. Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, we take that thing to the gym, dude.
You
Maps.
bump
been,
Nickelback in there.
every now and then.
Let it
Why, you
bleed.
fight on me? Let it-
I like Nickelback. People really hate on Nickelback. I'm a
Yeah.
fan. Not gonna
Dude,
lie.
it flies me right back to high school. I play it in the gym sometimes. People don't like
Yeah.
it, but I do. So my place, my music.
My rules. Hell yeah.
Yeah, let it bleed, baby. Let them
Yeah.
know.
Let it ride.
All right. I'm done interrupting. Back to Matt.
It's all good. Map's my fitness business. So I say fitness because it was in mobile training, then it was online training, and then now that I've had more time at home and not playing all the European events, it's a full-on gym. So
Yeah.
last July, I opened up a 1,500 square foot facility,
Damn.
and then about a month ago, I literally broke that lease, picked all my stuff up, and moved across the street to 3,500 square feet. So now I have 1,500 square feet of like straight out outdoor AstroTurf. So you can actually wear cleats on it and everything. We're fully decked out with everything from cardio to monkey bars to, you know, everything you can think of. And it's all been about movement. You know, you said the stay dangerous thing, right? My whole reason for fitness and getting into it was, one, I knew it would make me a better athlete, right? Two is I had fun with it. So I encountered this woman once, and she was significantly overweight, couldn't work for more than 20 seconds at a time. And she tripped over a curb and knocked all of her teeth out. She couldn't catch herself, and she couldn't lift her leg over a curb. And I was like, man, how do you live like that? Like, you got to stay dangerous. Like, what if you have to run from a dog? What if you have to jump a fence? Like, what if you have to save a friend? What are you going to do? And that's where it all started. Like, that's where I first said stay dangerous. And that was 10 plus years ago. But that's what really like forced me into like teach people how to move, fix injuries, get into corrective exercise. That's what stirred it all. And now here we are. I got a full blown gym. I got 5 trainers that work there, and we're growing every day.
And what certification?
That is awesome.
What certifications do you have with that, Greg? I know you're pretty accomplished in that area as well.
Yeah. So I started with my degree in nutrition. So I got my 4-year degree in nutrition, and then I evolved from there. So I got a certified personal training certification, then I got corrective exercise, then sports nutrition, and then like 5 other equipment based ones. So you learn like different positions of the body, vector, stuff like that.
Cool, man. Yeah, awesome. No, you're definitely a wealth of knowledge when it comes to health and personal fitness and understanding body mechanics and movement, which is so crucial to, you know, we attribute it to being crucial to being a high level athlete, but it's crucial to just living a valuable life.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's where it's so important. As you grow older, like you want to be able to move and be functional, you know, and be comfortable. So
when I sell myself, you know, you're selling personal training, right? So I sell myself to these people, and when I'm talking to them, no one really cares or knows what paintball is in the real world. You know, some people think it's cool, some don't. But what I say is like, listen, I've been playing professional sports for 16 years and I'm injury free. Like, to me, that is like, that's pretty solid, right?
Yeah. Knock on the wood, buddy.
Yeah, I did it under the camera. Like,
yeah. But yeah, no, that's a big thing.
It's major. I mean, that's giving you more playtime. That's giving you more experience. That's keeping you in the game longer, you know, and not a lot of players can say that, you know, even myself, I've had injuries. I know Marcella's had injuries.
I've never been injured. I don't know what you're talking about.
Multiple. And
you kept a straight face. That was impressive.
Yeah. But dude, to be able to say that is an accolade. That's huge, you know?
Yeah. And it's just one of those things, you know, is lessons over time. Like, hey, your foot is funny. That's why your neck hurts. Like, that connection in the body is what intrigues me so much and keeps me invested.
Right. Yeah. It is amazing how your footwork, your body positioning from like the lower half of your body affects the upper half of your body, you know, where you don't quite realize that until you dive into the world of physical therapy and really get your body mechanics in line. It's crazy. A lot of people walk around with all these different ailments and pains and they don't really know why. And it's fairly easy stuff to fix if you put attention to it.
100%. I mean, it kind of got, I say, invigorated and invested in all these things, but it got amplified when I played on Houston Heat. We would go fly to Houston. We'd play 7 days in a row with, like, you know, no problem. And at the end of some of those practices on my first year, dude, I couldn't move my leg. My knee hurt so bad. And I actually ended up going to a chiropractor who he hooked his fingers under my kneecap and just leaned back. And he goes, so nothing moved and it's supposed to. That's a problem. I'm like, okay. Well, I found out that my leg was imbalanced from all the squatting from paintball and diving. My quads were stronger than my hamstrings. So I went to the gym. I strengthened my hamstrings. I did some stretches. No more pain ever since. And that blew my mind because I literally was like, man, I might be done. Like, I don't know if I can handle this anymore.
Wow.
Fascinating. No, I hear you because I've had, again, I've worked really closely with, you know, Naveed. We had him on the show, but there were so many things where in my mind, I built them up to be, this is a big problem. My knee hurts in this way. Like this is surgical. And then I go and he's like, oh no, just, you know, do this movement 4 times a day for the next 2 weeks and it's going to feel better. And I do it. And it's like, whether it's my shoulder or my knee, whatever it is, it starts to feel better. And I'm like, wait, it was that easy of a fix? It was just a readjustment in some of the stuff that I was doing. That kind of stuff has blown me away because what I understand from that is there are probably so many people walking around with ailments and issues and in pain and they feel like they can't fix it, but they can.
It's endless, man. And you know, the best place to see it, or the worst place to see it is the airport. Go just sit in the airport and watch people go by. You'd be amazed how many people don't walk right. Like they swing a leg, or they limp, or they hobble, or they can't carry their bag. Like they're just completely off center. The airport is just like the base of where they're at.
Interesting. Yeah.
It's so interesting that you say that, like off center, because your body is like a piece of art. And if it's out of alignment, you know what I mean? You're going to be having an ailment in your knee or your hips or your back, or you're going to be feeling it in your neck or somewhere. And it's just a simple adjustment that you can do that would fix that.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing. So go to trainwithmap.com.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out.
Yeah, plug it, baby. Trainwithmap.com. Let's go.
And
That's
now,
where it all started, man.
Your online stuff, do people get direct access to you, or do you have other trainers that will assist them online, or how does that work?
It's all me, man. So when we were traveling hardcore and doing like all the different continents for paintball, I moved my whole business online. So Map still has a custom app where like I upload meal plans, all of the tutorial videos for every single exercise and every workout is me, like something that I made 20 seconds to a minute, depending on what it is. And you just click through, you can watch them. They're all custom updated and all the messages are me.
Awesome. That is really cool.
the Map app.
Map app.
I love
Map
it.
app. That's really cool.
That's rad.
Fantastic. Greggy, all right, dude. You know how the show goes, man. We got to dive into your first experience playing paintball. How did you get into the game? What exposed you to this, which led to this beautiful path of map training and infamous baller and daddy duties?
Call it luck, call it destiny, dude. So my mom has been a teacher her whole life, right? She's retired now, but she used to buy a lot of the things for her school at a recycling center. You can buy like notebooks by the pound instead of by the notebook. Well, above that was Taunton Paintball, P&L Paintball, like a classic New England.
P&L.
P&L, you know P&L.
Yeah.
So above that was their indoor facility. My dad heard it, walked upstairs, saw it, took the family to go play. I was 9 years old. I remember I had to lie and tell everyone I was 10. And it was all downhill from there, dude. I played twice that year. Yeah, I played twice that year. And by the time I was 12, I was playing every weekend, twice a weekend, like game on.
Yeah. Never looking back. Once you start, that's same with all of us here. Once we started playing, it's like, what is life anymore? You know, it all revolves around paintball now.
That was the same time.
Ball is life.
Ball is life. That was the same time frame. I would literally like set up cones in my parents' backyard, and I'd run and shoot at the woods and like dive into the cones. And my mom would get so upset that I ruined her grass. And I'm like, I wasn't doing that. There was no hiding it. She's like, there's a divot.
Yeah. Hold on. How old were you when you were doing this? This is awesome.
Dude, I'm 13.
Wow, that's rad. See, and that's what it's all about for the listeners, man. He was 13 years old, setting up cones, running and shooting in his backyard to get better at this game, you know? And it's no wonder that you've played on all of the best teams in the world pretty much, you know.
Dynasty. We haven't had him on Dynasty.
Yeah.
Hey, there was a close year there.
There's a close year.
There was a close year there. Oliver messaged me and I was like,
Yeah. Well, it's just a testament to your work ethic, obviously. Like, dude, you just work harder than people, and that has gotten you miles ahead in the short term. Like someone that's, you know, sleeping their full 8 or 9 hours and you know, taking it easy, they're just losing to you, you know?
Yeah. You know what's funny is that happens all the time. So for me, it's not even the idea of working, it's I feel like I'm already winning. So like when I'm talking about paintball, right? Sunday afternoon when everyone's kind of beaten broken, you know, you're playing those events, one dude's walking with a limp, you know, and you're playing the next point. I thrive at those times because I'm like, if I'm hurting, they're dead. You know what I mean? Like I know that I already did all these other things. I know that I worked harder in practice. I know, you know what I mean? And I convince myself of these things, even if I'm wrong. So my confidence goes up and then my game goes up. And like, I do all these things in the background so that I feel better. That's all it is, right? It just builds my mental state.
It's your self-talk, the way you talk to yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're highly motivated with your self-talk. And that is something that some people never figure out, unfortunately. We are kind of, in a way, if you choose to be, prisoners of your thoughts, but you can also choose to rewire your thoughts and have powerful self-talk. And that changes the way that you approach the day, your workouts, your training, and even when you're out on that paint field.
Totally. And the competitive edge starts it all, right? You're like, well, oh man, Tyler missed that last one. I'm going to go again. I'm going to go again, right? You keep convincing yourself that it's worth it.
Dude, I love that. Hell
So
yeah.
far, so good.
Yeah, you know. Well, I mean, you're living a beautiful life. You have a beautiful wife and a child, and you have an amazing company, and you're playing pro paintball. I mean, that's the dream for I would have to say a high percentage of the people listening right now.
Triple threat.
Yeah, and it wasn't easy, dude. I remember when you first got on Ironman with us, and you were traveling back and forth, you know, East Coast to West Coast, going through college, like just brutal. That, I mean, you know, Tyler brought up some people get their 8 hours of sleep. I don't think you ever got 8 hours of sleep.
Oh, dude. My God. So I was actually just telling someone this story. So
when I said 8 hours, he looked at me like, "Are you crazy?"
And you know what's funny is I'm over here. I'm like, yeah, what's wrong with getting 8 hours of sleep? I will work my ass off the remaining hours of the day, but I need those 7.5, 8 hours.
If life is good and you're sleeping 8, you are killing it. You've got me by a landslide. I'm doing something wrong. So I fully am on board with that. If you can do less, do less. I just don't have it in me. But that year with the Ironman, Oliver got me hooked up with a European team. And right when that happened, it was like right in the middle of the season. That year, from middle of that season to the middle of the next season, I played 30 tournaments or 28 tournaments. Yeah, dude, I played Canada, Mexico, Australia, 2 in the US because we still had the MPPL. I'm missing one. Oh, and I played some PALS events. And it was like, dude, I played 28 events and still got through school. I remember my counselor at the time was like, dude, you should quit. You should switch majors. You're never going to pass. Did it with honors, bitches.
Damn. Oh, shit.
I want to go meet that person and just like drop the mic. Like,
You should.
Hold on. So 30 events. That's crazy.
National events too. I'm not like, oh, I went to a regional. National events.
Yeah. So that's kind of the thing that, man, it's kind of a bummer. We don't have that many tournaments like there used to be, you know, 15, 20 years ago. You had so many different tournaments, you know?
How old are we? Yeah, I think, I mean, one thing that people always talk about is the rosters got smaller, which made it harder for people to come up, right? Like when I was on the Ironman, we had like 15 dudes, right? Yeah. Or more. So that made it easy. Well, not easy, but it made it better for a kid to get on a squad.
True.
The other thing that
made it much easier for a kid to get on a squad, for sure. Yeah, there were spots.
Right. And what also made us good is we had a chance to guest. We guested with European teams. We guested with Mexican teams. We guested with Canadians. And guesting makes you a better player, hands down. Like, you have to player coach. You have to think on your feet. You have to play when you can't understand the dudes next to you. Like, there's just so many different stages that you go through really fast when you're in that situation.
Marcelo preaches that all day.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, all the time, dude. We've talked about it. So it's like, that's one of the first things, especially if there's a, you know, like Mikey gets on the team or whoever it is, a new player gets on the team, especially, but any new pros that reach out and they ask like, hey, what could we do to get better? It's like, go and play international events, or even semi-pro players that are trying to go play international events. You're going to be forced to wear, just like you said, you have to be a player coach. You have to now be responsible for everyone else on the team because they're looking at you to lead the team. You have to also learn how to go and win a game on your own. You know, you have to be the guy. You have to go and do it on your own. Like, you are responsible for so much more that it just really, expedites the whole process of your learning curve, you know, because you're taking in all of this information, you're reading the whole situation, the whole game so much better and more. You have to, otherwise you get stomped out overseas. You know? Like, literally. you have no teammates that are going to save you most of the time. You are the best guy on the team. So it's one of the most valuable things you could do for your career is to go and play internationally. It's like the first thing that I tell anyone who turns pro, anyone who comes on our team, especially, like, find a team overseas that you can go play with, because it's going to help you grow exponentially.
Yeah. And the first thing they're going to tell you to do is play the back center. Don't do it. Go do what you do best. This happened to me. They were like, play the back center, man. Figure it out. I was like, sweet. Every front guy wants to play the back center. I'm like, dope. Shoot off the break, go nowhere. Got it. But you can't help the game from there. You have to go influence the game somewhere. So whatever you do, you have to go amplify it there. So.
Because they think
I'm gonna push back on that.
Are you?
Yeah,
Hold on.
yeah, exactly. So I am going to push back on it, but I'm also going to qualify it with you're right majority of the time. Actually, you know, especially if it's a newer player, you don't have the experience to be in that back center position. You need to go kill people. But I've had a lot of success being in a position overseas where I'm joysticking and dictating where all the players look, where they go, you know, and being in that role where I can kind of facilitate the whole game plan. But that's an outlier. That's an outlier.
That's an outlier.
That's an outlier for sure. So that's why I said, like, I'm going to push back in the sense that
because it's the hub center that we're talking about.
Right.
And if you don't know how to play the hub center properly, you'll demolish your own team.
Yeah, totally. So while I'm pushing back, I simultaneously agree with you that especially like new players, just go and learn how to go down a side and win a game. Learn how to like attack down the Doritos, shoot 4 people and press the buzzer. Go in the snake, go down, shoot 4 people, 5 people, press the buzzer. Learn how to do that in those scenarios.
Yeah, well, think about this too. You weren't always that back center mid guy.
True.
You were an attacker when you first went over there.
Very true. Yeah,
right. So
absolutely.
when was the last time you saw a back center guy get picked up for pro?
Jackson.
Matt Jackson.
Matt Jackson. Didn't he come up with AC?
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I don't know. No, you're definitely right. That role is geared towards the more experienced. And if you are looking to earn a pro spot, like being a 2 or a 3 is not your friend. It's not your friend. It's not your friend.
You got to go be an aggressive 2 at the very least.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
dude,
I agree.
Be an inspiration. That's what you need. You know, like inspire your team. Be an inspiration that a team wants to pick you up. A team wants to hire you to come out and play on their team so that you go and run people over. Inspire your team, you know? And yeah, there is inspiration from the hub sensor as well. I think that that is the most like selfless position, and it holds the most water for the team, and they don't get enough credit for all the things that they do back there. But the way, like we just said, the only way that you're actually going to break through into the pro circuit and like make a name for yourself is by just running people over. You're not going to take Yosh's job, you know, you're not going to take Marcelo's job. You're not going to take these guys' jobs. It's just not going to happen.
100%. So, I mean, he's in the pro league now, right? But Brandon Unger, he's actually getting better by the day, right? So he used to come to Ironman practices when I was on the Ironman last, right? So like 2018. And he was playing well, never got to go to the events. And he's like, man, Greg, I was helping him out. He's like, what do I do? I was like, first of all, stop trying to play my spot, because that's not happening. I was like, go play the snake, dude. But lo and behold, where does he play now? He plays the snake. And he's crushing it. He's getting better by the day. But it was one of those things. I was like, dude, stop trying to take my spot. You got to pick on somebody that's going to let you.
And dude, I like that. I like that he's coming after your neck, because that's what you kind of have to do, right? You gotta be attacking. But in the same token, you gotta know who you're attacking, and like, you know, you obviously have skin in the game. You've been a professional paintball player for a long time, and you have a lot of experience, which is hard to duplicate. You can't just learn that overnight, you know, all the experience and the different tournament situations you've been in.
And it's one of those things. So actually, I got something good on this for mindset. So I'm big on mindset, obviously. I mean, Tyler, you are too, for sure. I'm sure March. But every morning I drive to work, I listen to some sort of a podcast. And do you guys know who Ed Milet is? No, he's a big speaker. He made all of his money through financial advising. But one of the things he said is, when you're, let's say, trying to become an athlete, everyone's like, bro, you need more experience. You need more experience. You need more experience. So they don't hire you. They don't pick you up because you don't have experience. But then how the fuck do you get experience?
Yeah.
He goes, dude, break your day up. Right. So he's like, my first 6 hours, I work on this business. My second 6 hours, I work on this personal trait. On my third 6 hours, I work on this. He goes, I get 4 days for everyone's 1 day.
Hold on. That leaves 6 hours of sleep.
That's right.
No, this isn't okay.
Shave off a couple. Yeah, we should shave off a couple.
We need to shave off 2 hours of that, and I'm with you.
Yeah, well, that was his recommendation, right? So I just amplified. But
okay,
that's what he talked about. He's like, dude, so every time if I put 6 dedicated hours to one thing, and then 6 dedicated hours to one thing, like multiple times a day, you're gonna get more experience faster. So you're gonna triple and quadruple your experience in the same time that people are like, well, I did something today.
That's right. That's right. And, you know, I know that a high majority of people are not applying themselves and really being honest with themselves with the amount of hours that they have in a day. I know that a lot of them go wasted, you know, and if you really hold yourself accountable, you can obtain whatever you choose to apply yourself to if you really hold yourself accountable. But you know, we try to lie to ourselves and lie to other people, and it just, you know, it shows. The proof is in the pudding when at the end of the day, you know, you're sitting with what you've been working for or what you haven't.
Fact. That's it.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
Some would argue not splitting up your time and putting all of your time towards the one thing that you're working towards the most.
So you can do that, right? I totally agree. And I tell every kid coming up, I was like, stop trying to play everywhere. Don't be a jack of all, be a master of one, right? Be nasty at one thing. But if each one of those segments is all geared towards the same thing, if you did 6 hours of snap shooting, 6 hours of running and gunning, 6 hours of break shooting, right? You become an elite player. So each six is dedicated towards the same goal, right?
Sorry, I thought those were segmented into like totally different things, like 6 hours working towards your regular business, 6 hours towards learning a new language or whatever it is you're trying to do.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. And you know, you could get caught in that trap, which is I think what most people do, right? But if you segment it, it's easier to stay dedicated to one task for shorter amounts of time. And just gear them all towards the same direction. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, you got to work. You want a Maserati? You better work.
Yeah, dude.
Better work, bitch. Yeah, for sure. No, you do. Okay, so Greg, we'll hop back into this part of the mindset for sure. I want for the listeners to kind of dive back into your come up to the pro division and kind of the sacrifices that you made, because to me, that's always been a really inspiring story. Everything that you did sacrifice and do to make it on the pro scene. Like none of it was ever handed to you. It wasn't in your backyard. It wasn't easy for you to get to the field on weekends. You were literally flying yourself across country. I mean, it was crazy shit that you were doing so that you can chase a pro dream and build this kind of lifestyle. So let's go back into, you know, where you started playing, right? And then how you got into like tournament paintball and how it built from there. Okay.
So dude, you're going to love this. I've always been me. Right. So nothing's changed since I've been a kid. So I started playing paintball at that indoor that I guys told you about.
Yeah.
And the guy who used to run it, you might know his name, David Adams. He used to run it. He helped the Hurricanes at the time. And he owned a local store. Well, my dad and I would go to that local store for all our stuff, and enough visits and enough time spent there. My dad's like, hey man, like, can I just leave my kid here with you and have you teach him? Like, is that cool? So I went in there and I worked for nothing. You know, I just went in there. I helped fix guns. I hung out for hours on end. Like, and he taught me everything. He'd have me watch a video and be like, what gun is that? You know, like everything from what is that to, well, why did that happen? What's this happen? Blah, blah, blah. Eventually they invite me and my dad to go play on this club team who plays local tournaments here and there. And that started like the network of, oh, well, I met the pros. Oh, well, I met their coaches, right? So that kind of opened the door for me. But it was the same thing, dude. Just literally, I got in the door. I wanted to be good. I got relentless about it. And I got my first opportunity in 2006. I got picked up for NYX. So between then and there.
You played for NYX?
Yeah, for 2 events.
Dude, and that was the OG NYX back then.
Yeah, so it was
in 06 too?
06 was right after the Blonsky brothers. So right after them, it was all the New England Hurricanes and some of the leftover NYX guys.
Wait, so you played on their team in San Bernardino in 2006?
That was my first pro tournament.
You guys, dude, I talk about this often. That event, Ironman, I was playing on the Ironman. It was my first season with them. I was a kid, 16 years old. Yep. I lost a one-on-one to the big guy on your guys' team. Who was that?
Chris Wedge.
Okay, Chris Wedge. Damn, I don't even remember that name.
Wedge.
I'll never forget. And again, sorry to interrupt your story, but like, no, okay. I didn't know you were on that team. Do you remember this? Do you remember what I'm talking about? Like,
I remember.
I was going down the Dorito side, and I got he was in the back center. I don't think that dude probably ever moved from the back center, but, but I got into your guys' like really small Dorito, and I put myself in a really shitty position, and I lost the one-on-one. And I'll never forget the feeling of losing that one-on-one, because I just felt like I just turned pro. my team's giving me a chance. I just let us down in like the ultimate way. It's me versus him. That fueled me to practice and train so many one-on-ones. And I honestly didn't lose another one-on-one after that for a long time, but it was against that team, NYX, that big dude. You were on that team. That's hilarious. I didn't know that. Wow.
I mean, you were way ahead of where I was at that point, because they were like, yo, go to this can, don't die, bro. Like, don't move, don't do anything, shoot left. And I was like, all right, dope, I got this. Right? That's where I was at in 2006.
Okay.
You're talking, that was my first pro tournament, dude. In between like the start and there, I went everywhere, man. I'd travel to up to 9 hours, like to New Jersey, to Pennsylvania, from where I lived in Boston, every weekend for practice, because I played for all these different teams, semi-pro.
Hold on. Do you guys hear that out there? 9 hours. Yeah. 9 hours. Oh my God.
Dude, that was it, man. That was it. I wanted to play, and that was the way to do it around there, because there wasn't a lot of options in New England. So,
dude, that's dedication, man. And like Marcelo said, you did whatever it took, to get yourself where you needed to be to play paintball and give yourself a great opportunity.
For people who are listening, right? This wasn't like, well, my parents just didn't care. They were like, oh, just go ahead, Greg, have fun. No, it was like, you have to get honor roll or you can't play. You have to earn your paint or you can't play. Like, it's not like my parents paid my way. I earned it all through other things, right? And each time I can let my schooling go down. So
yeah, you've been hustling and grinding since day one.
I've always been me, man.
That's so true.
Yeah, dude, at the end of, this is where it starts for March, is at the end of 2006, right? I played San Bernardino in World Cup, and after World Cup, they were like, oh, we don't know who we're keeping. We don't know if you're going to make it, this, that, the other thing. Well, I was literally actually on a vacation. I had just parked the car with my girlfriend's family at the time, and I got a phone call from someone else in New England who happened to be friends with Junior Brown. Junior Brown was restarting the excessive camp after everybody left.
Shout out to Modesto.
Yeah, Modesto. They were like, do you want to come to a tryout? Yes. Like, I'll leave this girl here right now. I'm taking her car. We're going to the airport. Right. So I didn't end up leaving right away, but I went out the next weekend. And the main reason I got noticed, besides us beating the brakes off of the Bushwhackers at practice, was I played every single point. And this was old NXL days, like 15 balls a second, unlimited, blah, blah, blah. I was on the box every point. And Thomas Taylor came up to me. He's like, hey, kid, you work out? I'm like, every day, running to the box, like, here we go. And Excessive picked me up, and that following year I spent every weekend flying from Boston to Sacramento. I'd fly out on Friday afternoons, my dad would drop me off, I'd fly home on the red eye, I'd get around 5 a.m. on Monday morning, and he'd pick me up and I'd go straight to school.
And that was the routine. For how long did you have that routine?
All of 2007 for a full year.
Yeah, amazing. And you would drive from Sacramento to Modesto.
Yeah. Neil Everly would pick me up. I'd stay at his house that night, and then we'd drive down.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I got so lucky. I grew up in this weird city that just has the paintball mecca of Rich Telford and like extreme paintball junior and everything. Is crazy.
Yeah. So, all right. So just like 2006 with Marcelo, like, well, I lost the one-on-one. I'm like, oh, dude, I was barely on that team. Dude, you're like, oh, you were running drills when you were 13. Didn't you go pro at like 14?
That was me.
You're talking to me or Tyler?
I'm talking to Tyler.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I appreciate the pat on the back, but I know what camp I'm in right now.
Yeah, I was definitely working too a little bit at that time.
Yeah, I'm well aware, dude. I'm well aware.
Yeah, but you know what though? I'm gonna push back on that too. We worked our asses off. I know Tyler worked his ass off.
It's different though.
I worked my ass off too.
Yeah.
But it was, neither one of us ever had to sacrifice in the way you did to do that. Like flying across the country, not getting sleep, literally going to school. Like there's a different level in that sense. And I'm not saying that we wouldn't have, maybe.
Well, I did play for Tampa where I had to fly to Florida like every weekend, but it wasn't.
Yeah, that was well after you were pro, that's like not on the come up, you'd already made it. That's a little different. I'm not saying we wouldn't have. It's just, we didn't have to. It was in our backyard. Like I, drive an hour and a half to SC Village, and that was a big trip, hour and a half there in the morning, hour and a half back, hour and a half there Sunday morning, hour and a half back. And that's what we did. So it was easier, in that sense. Sure. And it's, that's why often we talk about, like, sometimes, that's just what life is, right? It's like sometimes it's luck and timing. You could have everything else, but it's luck and timing. And if things work out and fit into the mold of what you're doing, you broke the mold. You made your mold, you know, and that's like I just really, you know, I think you deserve the kudos on that, man, because I remember those years when you came to Ironman. I was like, man, I think you showed up to the first practice. You had like a broken back windshield that was taped up or something. It's like,
So,
like
all right,
something,
so here,
all their stuff got stolen.
that's literally what happened.
Yeah.
So literally the week before that tryout was spring break. So what I do, I went out with my college buddies and we went and got drunk, and I went
that's
from
what you get
practice to spring break. Yeah. I left my gear bag in the back seat of my Volvo, and someone smashed the window and stole my gear bag. So I had no gear whatsoever.
I think I remember this story.
Yeah,
I remember hearing about this.
It was so bad. So I had to borrow all this gear, and the only way I could drive to this Ironman practice for whatever it was, 7, 8, 9 hours, I wrapped a tarp around my broken window and I taped it. So as I was driving through the Grapevine, you guys know, but like this huge mountainous area in California, the wind would fill the tarp and then it would smash against the window. So I was driving through the Grapevine with my knee on the wheel and both hands over my ears because it was just smashing against my car. Whoa. Dude, it was gnarly just to get there. Oh man.
Yeah, man. Grit is something that you have, my friend.
Grit and stupidity, something.
Yeah, a little bit of both. I'll give you that.
A little bit of both.
Sometimes you need both, you know? You just got to be able to close your eyes and fucking go for it.
Right? Hey, if you don't bet on you, who's going to?
Yeah, facts.
And when you fall in love with paintball, you know?
You're host. You just get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember those times, and it was just always like, and I tell this to kids all the time because they'll I'm sure you guys get similar messages, but it's, you know, I'm going to a tryout this weekend. You know, what could I do to get noticed? Effort's like the biggest one. Be a good teammate and put in effort. Everything else, like a coach, if the coach knows what he's doing, he's going to be willing to work with that versus someone that might have a little more talent, but doesn't have all that going on. Mm-hmm. You know, like if you want to build an organization and build your team around something, it's all up here. You want players with the mindset that it takes to win and the mindset that it takes to build an organization, right? Mm. And honestly, Greg, I think that's why you've had so many opportunities to play for such high level, high caliber championship teams, is because they see that in you. And that's always been you. Like you said, you've been the same since a kid, you know, and that's just, it's an important thing. I really hope the listeners understand the value in that, you know, it's, effort is just such a huge thing that I don't know why it gets overlooked. And I don't know why, maybe it's this age of entitlement that's going on, you know, like a lot of people just feel like, what do you mean? I played 2 days a week. I'm good. I deserve this. Oh. Like, no, dude, put shit on the line for it and prove that you want it that bad. And then somebody's going to recognize. Until you do that, shut up. There's a million other people that are doing that.
Dude, you're pulling on my strings right now with all this stuff. So you know, you want to hear the most pet peeve phrase of all time? Marcelo, must be nice. Bro, that
oh my God,
drives me bonkers. Nice.
I got that today. I got that today on my post because I posted in my Tesla. You know, I dance around in my Tesla. and you know, Grant's my buddy from New York. I'm not going to put him on blast, but must be nice, this and that. Like, you're a clown, dude. This is a lot of hard work.
It is nice. It is nice. Kick rocks.
Yeah.
Well, they don't see what goes on the back end, you know, and they shouldn't. They don't need to. You know, that's for us. That's for us to know. Yeah.
Sorry, Greg. I did interrupt you though, so you can continue down that path because I want you to put them on blast.
Yeah. Where are we at? All right, so we're at the end of 07. Is that where?
No. Must be nice. You know, that's your biggest pet peeve. You know,
dude. With that, like, that's why. So stay dangerous. You guys have heard me say that now. Right. It's been on a gun now, right?
Yeah.
That started because I said it at a clinic. I got really upset that in the middle of a game, these kids would just like stop playing. They'd like look at the clouds and they'd look at the sun. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like, get in the game. What are you doing? You know, and it pissed me off. And I'm like, stay dangerous, dude. You have to be doing something. Like, if you are not talking, moving, or killing, you're not helping.
Right.
So it kind of just became this thing over time. And now it's been even more amplified because with my work, I do a lot of kids programs. So I do kids kickboxing, I do kids paintball, I do all these things. And some of these kids walk in and they're just so soft, man. They're like, well, we all won. I'm like, no, you lose. He wins. Take that. Like, deal with it. And they're like, ow. And I'm like, yeah, it's supposed to hurt. You know, like I try to put it on them a little bit just so that doesn't happen. I'm so frustrated with that mentality because it's just the exact thing that I stand against.
You're the last of a dying breed, bro.
Yeah, but I think there's almost like like in the stock market, I feel like there's a reversal going on actually with this softness. I think people are realizing that we are really making a mistake with how we are treating kids and the sensitivity that we're breeding them with. It's a major issue because this has long-lasting psychological issues that make it difficult for you to succeed in the real world, where the real world does not actually care too much about your feelings. It's about results, right? That's the bottom line. And so if you raise your kids with the mindset that they're entitled to anything, you're making a big mistake. You're making a big mistake. And I think I feel like there are people now that are kind of catching it and saying like, hold on a second, maybe we've gone too far. And I could be wrong, but I feel like you're hearing it more now than you did, 3 or 4 years ago. It's like, maybe we've gone too far. Now we're starting to see some like, this isn't the way it's supposed to be. This is also not good, And I think it's important. I mean, Greg, I guarantee you, your boy's not going to be raised like that,
Hell no, dude.
Yeah.
Hell no. You bleed a little, cry a little, you'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. I know Theo and Max aren't being raised like that.
No, they cry a lot.
You are kind of a big teddy bear with them. It's surprising. I'm like, dude, you were so gnarly to all of us. You're like a big teddy bear to your boys.
Yep. Daddy takes care of them. It's like I got daddy daycare here. It's a lot of fun. We're so blessed, man, to be able to have the community and have, man, I don't know how I lucked out having 2 boys. When they told me I was having the second boy, like the first one, I was like, okay, that's crazy. Because when I was younger, I always thought I'd have girls.
What's wrong with having a girl, bro?
Nothing, but I always thought I was going to have girls. Like I never dreamed of having a boy. All my life, I was like, I'm gonna have girls. So when I found out that I was having a boy on the first one, I just was like, oh my God, I'm having a boy. Because it wasn't even in my framework, my mind frame,
Yeah.
And then the second one was like, you got to be kidding me. We're having 2 boys. It's crazy.
Know. You can't even go for a third one.
I can't. No, I'm out the game.
Snip, snip. Snip, snip.
Yeah.
No, but I back to, kind of what we're talking about with that. I think, the mindset is a really big issue. And for anyone listening, it's worth looking into of how we frame the fabric of our society and how we build the fabric of our society, because
we got to empower.
That softness ends up doing way more harm than good. It's initiated by good intention, and you're coming from a good place in doing that, but the results are not good.
Right. Well, in the meantime, until that switch happens, dude, it's easy to win right now.
It's easy to win.
I'm just saying, maybe not where we're at because we're still in the last of the dying breed, but like right below us, dude, it's easy to win. All you got to do is try a little. You'll be fine.
Seriously. Yeah, seriously, huh?
Yeah, clock in and do the extra work. Do the things that nobody's willing to do, and then you're gonna go flying. Have the ideas.
Hang on. Can I tell a little side story right here?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tyler, you said clock in, and I just repeated this story the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Oakland Blast, Embassy Suites. So for people who don't know, Embassy Suites has free happy hour from 5 to 7:30 every night. We were out at an Embassy Suites, and Tyler reached up and turned the analog clock backwards a half hour. And we got an extra half hour of free happy hour.
Yep, clocked in on that clock there.
I can't believe that worked. That poor bartender probably went home and was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, what's happening here? We were youngsters. We were in our early 20s when we were romping around with Oakland Blast and Embassy Suites. I think we were even sponsored by them. We had them on our jerseys. Yeah. So shout out to Embassy Suites. Thank you for the 30 extra minutes there. I had to clock in on that one.
I just had to, as soon as you said clocked in, I saw your face. I was like, oh
yeah. Well, me and Greg have had a lot of fun times together. I mean, when we were young and, young pro paintball players running around playing on Oakland, we definitely had a lot of good memories and just, timeless trips with Bobby and Zach and all the guys. It was great times.
That was awesome.
Yeah. I want to get into your lineage and kind of drop back in there. And then I want to go through, how you built up to where you are today in paintball.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the last thing I had said is that I was flying back and forth in 2007, right? So at the end of that season, the agreement was some of my flights were covered by excessive, but I had to move out. And it wasn't really decided if I was going to do it or not. So the funky part was I had great SAT scores. I could have gone to state school in Massachusetts for free based on my scores. But instead, about a week before that happened, I'd already accepted a school and everything else. I applied to like 10 different schools in the Sacramento area. I got accepted to Sac State. And I was like, so I'm going to move to California. My mom freaked out. My dad was all about it. And literally my last day of senior year, I went straight from school to the airport. I moved to Sacramento. So I lived with Rich Tilford for 6 months before I moved into school. I played
What was that like? Talk to me about those 6 months with Rich.
Whoa, mental tenacity. That's what that is. He used to be a lot crazier and tougher than he is now. And don't get me wrong, don't poke his buttons. He's tough.
No, do not.
He was on another level.
Age.
Yeah. He was on another level when I was a kid. So like everything I did, he's like, well, do you think that's the right thing? Do you think you should have done that? Well, would you have done that? And I think he did it purposefully, but basically at the end of 2007, he was like, dude, we lost so much because of you. And I was like, whoa, right? And I know now he was doing it because he had a lot of faith in me. Like I see what he did to me, and that's probably what hardened me up a little bit. But yeah,
well, he's a master sensei. That guy.
Oh, he is.
That guy is no joke. He is a sensei, and that's my sensei. Like I'm so grateful. Rich is the man. That guy, the questions that he asks, and the way that he chooses to direct thought and to kind of play with you a little bit. And he's not playing games, but he's trying to see what's going on. He's trying to figure things out. And it sets you in motion in the right way too, because it gets you really hyperactive about the thought processing as well.
Totally. He applies the pressure and you accept it and you become great, or you take it and you become dust. Like that's what it is.
He's the man, dude.
He laid it on thick. That's for sure.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I can hear him saying it too. It's so funny.
Oh,
yeah. Telford's a beast. And then, so you move out to California and talk to me about like doing school and paintball and what it was like after you moved out and got that going.
So, I mean, the first year was easy, man. Freshman year of college, I mean, what are you doing? You're going to classes on your own schedule. You're drinking, like it's easy. But it was at the end of 2007, I couldn't get a hold of Rich. He was like, bro, I don't know if we have sponsors. I don't know if the team's going to exist, blah, blah, blah. And that's when I called Nicky Cuba because I had his number. And I was like, hey, man, what's up with the Ironman? Right. So I got on the phone with him and I got that tryout. And I ended up playing for Ironman the following year. And that's when it really kicked off because I was traveling for practices and traveling for tournaments and then started playing internationals. So when I was in college, I had to go to college for my parents. They were like, listen, no support if you don't go to college. And support just meant like being a part of the family at this point. But with all those tournaments, I remember going into my professors with a jersey like, listen, this is how I pay to be here. Like, please don't fail me for not being here. I promise I'll do everything. So I took midterms early. I took tests online. I remember being in Spain, sending an email like, hey, I can't afford to write this paper online, but I'll submit it when I get home. And they're like, all right, cool. That's when you had to put the coins in to get internet at the cafe. Yeah. So there was no Wi-Fi in Europe at this time. So if anyone wants to put that on a timeline.
There's hardly still Wi-Fi in Europe.
So it's tough times over there.
It's tough.
Right? But yeah, that's where it fired up, man. So I was playing the 28, 30 tournaments that year. 2008 we won World Cup, but this is where my story takes off. So 2008 World Cup, I sat that entire event. I didn't play a single point. And at that event was my entire family. It was the first time that my sister had been there, first time mom had seen me. It was a whole 9 yards, and I literally sat the whole event. And dude, I was heartbroken. I knew I was going to get that call that winter that I was getting cut. And I did. And they were like, hey, you know, it's because we can't afford to bring you in. They cut Johnny Perchak at the same time. And I was like, okay, maybe that's part of it. But that lit a fire, dude. I was like, never again. Never again. And ever since I've been a starter. So 2009, I played for the Bushwhackers because I couldn't find another home.
Dude, the Bushwhackers, those are the dudes right there.
Those are the dudes. That was local for me, right? That was Sacramento at the time. So that was easy.
We went and won a tournament together in Australia in 2009.
We did. That was my
fun.
first tournament win ever.
Oh my God, that's right. Yeah.
Dude, it was you, me, and J-Rab. It was my first tournament win ever.
Yeah. How funny was that trip? How funny was it?
Great.
How funny was it? We got to tell a story that when we were out at the bar, so we landed where were we? We were in Geelong, actually. So it's like an hour outside of Melbourne.
Geelong Extreme.
Yeah, Geelong Extreme. It's like an hour outside of Melbourne. And I remember the team owner picked us up and basically gave us, he's like, you know, you guys can go into town. There's a bunch of bars, restaurants and stuff. We just have flights over to Perth, which is the other side of the country, 6-hour flight the next morning for the event. And I remember, like, again, this is before Wi-Fi is really a thing overseas. Like, truly, you couldn't get Wi-Fi, you know? And so J-Rap, we had the address to this guy's house written on a piece of paper. You remember this?
Yes.
And so we're in this bar hanging out, and, you know, we meet some girls. We're hanging out, talking to him, and J-Rap's like, I don't know why he was just being sour. He just wanted to go home. So he leaves, and he takes the address with him. We didn't realize. Then it was time to go home for the rest of the night. Like, me and Greg were like, wait, we don't have the address. We don't have phones. We don't have the address of this place. Like, what are we going to do? Needless to say, the Australians were incredibly accommodating and went through a very long process to help us find our way back. We did experience our first drive-through bottle-o that night, which is a drive-through liquor store. You literally, through your car, you drive up to the window, they serve you drinks, and you're on your way.
Yeah.
The bottle of
absent from that.
Yeah, we were not driving.
We were not driving.
Just to clarify. But
hold on, there was absinthe, I just heard.
Yeah. That was back when you couldn't get that in the US. So I wrapped it up in some hoodies and brought it home.
Yeah. That stuff will take you down. Did you guys drink some of that out there?
It's in like every other cocktail that they make.
They just can put a splash in. Dude, that
comes with a Tabasco top. Like, that's how you know it's gnarly.
Yeah. That was a really fun event. Who did we beat in the finals? I remember A-Rod, Skemp, and Short, or was it Greenspan?
Menace.
Yeah, it was Menace for sure. But who was on the team? A-Rod, Skemp, and we're talking about Alex Savino, not Rodriguez, obviously.
Yeah.
But
Greenspan was on there.
Okay, it was. Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't Short.
Like a trauma kid.
No. I think it was Greenspan, Skemp, and A-Rod. That's right. Yeah.
Savino. Yeah.
Savino. Yeah.
Savino,
Shout out. But yeah, that was a fun one. I remember that was the same event too, that we kept getting minors. J-Rab kept getting a minor like every single point. And then finally, because I was playing behind him on the snake side, and I was like, dude, what the F, bro? What are you doing? He said, dude, I'm not doing anything. This isn't me. And like, if I'm watching, like, it wasn't bad. And the refs go to him and they say, you think you could come over here and post that stuff on Facebook and we're not going to punish you for it? Because Jared had posted something about like the reffing not being good over there. Something like that. I don't remember what it was, but it was something like.
I remember exactly what it was.
Oh, you do? Well,
yes. I'll censor it. He was like at this dog poop event shooting this dog poop paint.
Oh no.
Yes. That's what he posted on Facebook, dude. I remember they walked up to our pit and asked us.
Okay. Yeah. No, dude, you're right. That does ring a bell. So it actually didn't have to do with the refs. It was just before anything, he was just kind of clowning on the air. Oh, that sucks.
So pro tip, definitely don't go online trash talking the tournament.
No, never. I remember Jared kept, he's like, dude, I'm not doing anything. I swear I'm not cheating. I'm like, I mean, I guess I believe you, but this is obscene. It's every point. It's like we finally sorted it out, thank goodness, and ended up winning the event. But that was fun.
A lot of fun over there. Good times.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, dude. That was
yeah,
dude, 100%. Australia is always fun, man. I cannot wait to get back over there and compete. It's a lot more competitive now than it used to be. You know, before you could go over and it's kind of a little bit of a vacation, fun time. Now it's like one of the hardest events that we play in. You know, truly.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Marshy, get me on your squad. Have the PTG boys go out there.
Oh, Dude, okay. As a matter of fact, Ty, I meant to talk to you about this.
Yeah.
Are you not on Expendables?
I am not entirely sure. I think so. Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
if you're not, I have a team for you.
okay.
Yeah,
All
shout
right,
out to my
sounds good.
STK boys. Yeah,
Nice.
we'll talk off air, but they asked
Yeah.
they asked about picking up one of our guys. So
There we go.
Boom.
looks like
Home
he could be good
run.
for that.
Deals.
There you go. Boom. Making deals on the
Right
show, dude.
Yeah.
Look at that. Add it up.
Yeah. So
right.
after 08,
Back to
you
it.
played for, who did you play for after Bushwhackers? And that was 09 actually.
That was 09. Yeah. So this is a weird time where the extra teams come in because you could play for two teams, right? So I played for one team in the PSP and one
That's
team
right.
in the MPPL. That's where
Yeah.
like Oakland Blast came in, Explicit, like all these other pro teams.
Mhm.
But 2010, I jumped over to Aftershock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Forgot
that
about
was
that.
totally on a whim, dude. One of the guys that was out there that I knew was like, "Hey man, why don't you come hang out in Chicago?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's go hang out." And we ended up playing against Shock. So that's when I met all the guys and kind of hung out with them. And it gave me a spot that next year. So 2010, I played for Shock. And
What was that
then-
like? Who was on the team
God.
during that period?
So this is actually where Tim Montresor and I met.
Mm.
So Tim and I were homies forever. So 2010, we met there on Shock. Sam Monville was on the team. Nick Sloviak, Brad McCurley,
Nice.
Chris Sosine, if you guys remember that name.
Yeah. So seen.
Cody
Yeah.
Mikowski, my teammate now, was on that
Yeah.
team. Yeah, there was a stack of guys, man. I'm missing some last names here. I could give you first names. I'm missing the last names. But.
We're gonna have another one of your teammates. Thomas is coming on next. He'll be
Nice.
episode 77.
Oh, well played.
Yeah.
Well played.
Yeah.
He wouldn't let it be any other way.
Yeah.
Call me when you're deep in it.
Yeah.
77.
Yeah. He actually, did you see that he tried to invite us to his live? I missed it today. He
No.
did a live today. I was like, Thomas, why don't you text us so that we know that you're going to do the live? That way that we can get in there.
Damn, I didn't even see it.
Yeah. But just Thomas, if you listen to this, which I know you will, text me before you do a live next time so that I can hop in there for you, brother.
100%.
Little heads up, dog.
Yeah. So Aftershock, that's a badass team. That's a rowdy organization right there.
Yeah, it was gnarly. So that year was crazy. So sometimes I'd fly out to Chicago and we'd have a full practice. We'd do our thing. Jeremy Solom was coaching us. And then sometimes we'd fly out there and they'd be like, "Yo, we have 6 cases." And I'm like, "For the weekend?"
Yeah, for the drill we're about to do. What are
For
you
the
talking
drill-
about?
Yeah, dude. I kid you not. I flew to Chicago and there was 10 cases. That happened.
Yeah,
Dude, that happened. We lived in a crazy time. I'm not going to get too deep into that one, but we lived in a crazy time. So it was fun. And the coolest part about that year, aside from like getting to be buddies with Tim, was World Cup. We made the finals. Zach Patient was on that team. There you go.
Yeah.
I just saw him. We made the World Cup finals against the Russians. Could not believe it. We couldn't believe it. So right before that match, Cody Mikowski and I had just won the CXBL finals on the field next to it because that's when CXBL played the finals at World Cup. So Cody and I literally like walked over there, won the CXBL finals, walked back, took our jerseys off. 5 minutes later, put our Shock jerseys on and went on the field. Like,
dude.
Yeah, I was tight.
Talk about being conditioned.
Yeah, it was serious business. Luckily, we beat the living breaks off the team that we played. We beat them like 21-5 or something.
Yeah.
So at one point, I was bunkering dudes because my dad was calling for it from the stands. So I was like, "All right, cool, I'll go get this guy." Like, that's when there was coaching too. But
for everybody that doesn't know, that you used to be able to yell from the sidelines where everybody was.
It was chaos.
Oh, just take all the fun out of paintball, why don't you? You know,
seriously.
It was so fun for spectators, though.
It was.
Yeah.
It really was.
Like I don't know. There's a fine line there. I say you move them back quite a bit, so you can't like really be in a player's ear. You can't have a dedicated coach.
Yeah,
but you
all day.
But you let the fans rip.
I'll take it because you know what's gonna win? Dad's whistle.
Yeah, dude,
Dad's whistle is gonna win.
Yeah.
You look at the last couple finals. I mean, 2020 was different because there weren't as many people there, but 2019 and 2018, both of those finals, 2019 especially, there's no such thing as communication because It was so loud. I mean, every single person in the stands was yelling the entire point. So if you're yelling, like, you could easily be coaching. People were calling stuff out left and right. Like, you can't stop that. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I think you got to move them back and let them do whatever they want.
I love that. I agree. Let's envision that this is in a stadium full of 30,000 people.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
You expect them all to be quiet?
No.
Hey,
yeah.
shh.
Yeah. Nobody talking here. Okay. No, it's going to be lit. The stadium's going to be on fire. Literally. There's going to be like madness going on. So I think paintball will progress to having an in-ear communication system like later on. And you'll have mics where we can, because what's more important than the communication that we have out on the field, right? That is everything. And we still to this day don't have at least one player mic'd up on the field, which boggles my mind. Just give the quarterback, give Ryan, give Marcelo, give me a mic. Somebody give Greg a mic, and let us hear one player out here, because it adds so much value to the game,
That'd be crazy if only one guy had one. Actually, that's cool.
Yeah, the quarterback, he has the mic, just like in football. The quarterback's got the mic, and you can tap into that guy and see what's going on in the game and see what they're talking about.
We got to start calling the three. We got to start calling them the center back.
Hey, there you go.
Oh no, I was gonna say, doesn't Tyler already say that? No, he says back middle. Back middle.
Yeah, back middle.
Yeah, he does.
Every time, dude.
Oh my God, Greg, that's hilarious. You're right. Back middle.
Back middle. And then hits him with the fan. He's like, all right.
Yeah, fan him up. You gotta stay fan him up.
How did you just pull that out, Greg? That's hilarious.
Bro, I know Tyler. Dude.
It is back middle. You're so right.
And it's normally like right into like a hard super back middle.
Yeah.
He's coming up.
Or some grunt. I'm grunting while I'm saying it.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. That's so true.
Yeah, we've had some good times. That's why so excited to have you on here, dude, because we've been through the ringer, and we're just getting started, really. We're still young men, and we're still having fun with this. And what we're doing right now is hopefully laying the pavement for future generations to be able to have a career in this game. I know that we all sitting here, that's our goal. We want this to move forward into the future very powerfully. And I pray that my kid Theo, if he wants to play paintball, he can do well for himself playing some paintball if he wants to.
Yeah. Dude, I don't want to say that I'm responsible for it, but I definitely think I've helped bridge that, where I was a full-time paintball player for 7 years, where like my salary was paintball, and I bought a house on paintball and all that good stuff. So it's doable. Right now you got to find the right spot, but
you got to work your ass off.
It's doable. That's something that we talk about often on the show. Is it's doable, it's possible. You just have to know what your goals are, and you have to know, which avenue you're going for and how you can monetize the game. Because there's multiple ways, there's different ways, and if you know that, then you can kind of strive for those different avenues. Really difficult, but definitely possible.
Definitely possible.
It is. You just got to work, man. It's just like Greg's been talking about. You gotta outwork the other individuals. You have to be clocked in and out thinking too,
Totally. I don't think it's any more difficult. If anything, it's probably easier to make money. I mean, relatively speaking, obviously, than it is to become an NFL player. Like, think of how many people in the world are trying to become an NFL player, and the percentage of people that play football and are striving for that actually make it to the NFL. I guarantee you that number is much lower than, how many people are trying to become a professional paintball player and do finally make it. Now, the monetary award, that's kind of a different conversation. But once you make it, like, I think it's, very similar. Things are hard. Things are hard to do if they're worth it, So if you're not willing to put in the work for something, I don't know. For me, I've always looked at stuff and said, okay, yeah, it's really hard, but there's a chance, right? You're saying that, like, I can do it. I can do it. It's possible. Okay, well, that's what I want to do. So I'm going to take the steps to do it. I'm not one of those that, no, 90% of people don't make it. Okay, well, I don't relate to those 90%, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what are you talking about? I'm in that 10% category. I'll show you.
I love that. Yeah. And, obviously a pro football player is going to make a lot more money than a pro
Right,
paintball player.
of course,
But
yeah.
I guess what we have to get down to is what makes you happy. What do you want to do? What fills your cup up? That's really what you need to be chasing. You know, do things that make you happy to do them, because you're going to be way better at them, you know?
I'm going to become a Tesla salesman.
Hey, there we go.
That's what I want to do. I think that'll make me happy.
You're doing really good. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm about to go buy one.
Elon, dude, Elon, if you're listening, I know Elon supports the show. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Tesla,
Tesla, baby.
I do know, again, I've said this, if he doesn't let me pay my lease payments in Dogecoin, I don't know how long I'm going to stick to it.
Yep. The Dogecoin. You in on that, Greg?
No, I'm out.
Greg has no clue. Do you even know what Dogecoin is, bro?
Oh, dude, I'm in it. I did
Yeah.
just fine on the travel stocks this year. So
Hey, there we
Dogecoin's
go.
not a travel stock, bro.
I know, but
What is it
wanna
then?
Talk about stocks?
What is it then?
Mirror image of Bitcoin, dude. There's 3 of them out.
Wait, there's 3 of them.
Yeah, it's what's the other one? It's another name with coin. It's not Dogecoin.
Uh-huh.
Litecoin, Ethereum, but there's a ton
Oh,
of.
is there more than I knew? So I knew of
Yeah.
3, and I couldn't think of the third name.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
there right now for
Gotcha.
crypto, my God.
It's insane, dude.
Yeah,
There's so many.
it has really blossomed just in the last 6 months, in the last year. You know, there's so much going on in the space. It's just crazy. So in 2010, you said that you had 6 cases of paint for Chicago Aftershock.
Oh yeah, what'd you guys
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
Shoot beer cans?
I mean, now you get it. No, dude, it's pretty close. We ran like 3-on-3 drills for half a day, and that was it.
Mhm. Well, it was, mind you, at this time, we're in the middle of a recession, right?
Yeah.
Like this is not far after the 2008 crash, and things are still kind of crazy. Did that play into it at all?
Nah, we were out of the recession in 2010, dude.
Maybe that played into why certain people stole the paint that we were supposed to be able to shoot, but it
Yeah.
didn't play into why the paint wasn't there.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
Yeah,
So
You
it got heisted.
it got heisted. It got heisted hard. I was too young to know, but now I know.
Yeah.
Greg, were you on the Ironman team when we went to practice at Velocity and it was pouring rain, so we canceled practice and went and played
The
football?
football field and short
Okay,
raced
yeah.
Oliver. Yeah. okay.
Yeah. So there's actually something to be said about those kind of weekends, I think. You know, and a lot of teams that I've coached, something will go wrong where it's like, we can't practice it. We had a scheduled practice, but we can't practice. What should we do? I said, well, don't just make it a non-weekend, right? Don't just let everybody do their own thing. Get together and do something. Go to the movies. Go, I don't know, play board games. Do something as a team, because I always bring it back to that weekend. It was pouring rain out at Velocity Paintball, so we decided we're not playing, and we went down to this football field and played like 2-hand touch football with the whole team, and yeah, short raced Oliver. It was just like a competitive, fun day where I felt that the team really bonded, right? Like it was really good for the team chemistry.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could always do something with that time. So like you show up to Chicago, you guys only have 6 cases. You know, some people would look at that and cause a big scene and say, this is bullshit, flew all the way out here, blah, blah, blah. But you could still make that productive. You can still do something with it, right?
Yeah, some people buy a 12-pack and shoot the cans of beer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was 50-50 on that team too, right? We had a lot of guys that played pro because they could, and we had a lot of guys that were like me and wanted to keep going, right? So
Mhm.
it was 50-50 as to who was okay and who was bitching. So
Yeah. Take every opportunity you can to bond with your brothers. Those are the guys you're going to go into war with, you know? You got to make sure that you know who they are off the field too, because
Yes.
you can learn so much about on the field tactics, on the field team awareness and playing ability by just hanging out. And I think that the most successful teams in the world, they all hang out together. They're all actually friends. They really care about each other, and it translates onto that field, you know?
absolutely.
Yeah. It's a brotherhood, a sisterhood, you know, community.
Greg, so how did you go from Aftershock and then you went to Infamous in 2012, I think? You had a stellar year, won a tournament where the MVP played lights out on that Dorito side. You actually beat us when I was one of the Russians in the finals. How did that year go down? Because I felt like that, in my opinion, you know, just as a fellow, you know, friend, someone watching your career from my point of view, was like a year that really catapulted your brand, right, into the
Totally.
next level.
Yeah, so I got on Infamous 2011. And that was with the old dudes, like JR was still on the team, Rusty was still playing.
I was on the team.
2011. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you guys,
2011.
you guys were
Nice.
just
There you go.
teammates. That's all.
No big deal. No big deal. We didn't hang out on weekends.
Yeah, no clue. Yeah, we didn't go play football. We didn't shoot beer cans.
We drank beer cans.
Drank beer.
But yeah, so 2011, right? And then 2012 is when all the Chicago guys came on the team. But 2012, I don't know what really changed other than maybe Todd. So Todd Martinez was the coach, and he let me loose. He was like, dude, go that way and do you. Like, I don't know if he saw something. I don't know if he had confidence or what, but I kind of just bought into that. Like, hey, I'm going to go here. My job is to create chaos and shoot as many bad guys as possible at all costs. Okay, cool. I'm in. So that's all I did. And like, I got a handful of penalties doing it, but I was pushing the envelope every point.
Oh yeah, Red Squirrel. I forgot that nickname.
Yeah.
Red Squirrel.
Yeah.
Oh, it started on the Iron Man. That happened.
That was packed. Well, I got 2 majors. That did not help. But yeah, dude,
Hey, bro,
that was the year.
I was just telling stories about the whole entire NXL reffing squad saluted me and called me major at a tournament when I was younger. So yeah.
Major Harmon.
Cold.
Major Harmon. Yeah, reporting for duty, sir.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I feel so much better now.
It's so funny.
It happens, baby.
Major Harmon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
You got to get it, push it to the limits. And that's how, you make a name for yourself, not getting the penalties, but pushing it to the limit and hopefully having more good games than not. Right.
Yeah. That was it, dude. I was just riding the edge the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. And it came together at that Chicago event for sure.
Totally. That was my first US win.
Okay.
I still have the trophy for that event. So that was my very first US win.
It's funny. I just want real quick. You won World Cup with us. You were on the team in 08. But you already said that story. It's interesting and I admire it. I think I would probably be if you didn't play a point, I don't know if I would count that either. But a lot of players out there would, and this kind of goes back to the softness. Like I admire that about you. You're like, look, on one hand, anything that you do to contribute to the team is valuable, but in another hand, as a competitor, it's hard to count that. You know what I mean? As a competitor, it's like it wasn't on the field.
Yeah,
and
that's the magic word. 100%.
Right.
Yeah. So I didn't even, it's funny. We talked about that story and I don't even think twice about saying like, oh yeah, my first one was 2012. Cause that's what I tell everybody. Like,
right.
Yeah. I don't even think about it.
Yeah. Wow.
But it was a motivator. I'll tell you that much.
I believe it. And then again, like to be the MVP of a tournament that you win in is really hard in the pro division, really hard. And so you did that with Infamous. Damn it. Again, it was against us, beat us in overtime.
Dude,
but yeah,
that event overtime, I was so tired. I could barely hold my gun to my shoulder.
Me too.
I remember I dropped my gun twice because I was like, I can't hold it. Like I was trying so hard. Dude, when you were on the Russians, you were playing every point. I did the same thing with Infamous. And that was long games.
We were honestly, I think if we would have won, I would have got the MVP that event. And
probably,
then I remember you and I were like neck and neck going into that finals match. And I remember that overtime point, I was I think it was a tower on the Dorito side, and I was just cooked. And I was like, okay, this is a lot of effort to put them in and go. I just need to relax for a second. I'm like, we have a body advantage. We're up a body. Okay, we're in position. We're in the 50 snake. And all of a sudden, Brad McCurley makes that move over on the snake side. This is the game that put Brad on the map. Makes this big ass move down the field, shoots all of us in the back. And I'm just blown away. I remember the Russians were so mad at me because I didn't capitalize, when we had a body advantage. And it was like, it was just a hell of a weekend, dude, because Chicago's always tough. The humidity, the heat. It's like Florida, it's like Orlando, the World Cups. I mean, it's really tough to go the distance in those,
And I know you well, Marcelo. I know that after that tournament, you were probably pretty pissed off for sure.
To say the least.
To say the least, yeah. You were fuming.
To say the least, yeah.
But that's the type of stuff that inspires you to do great things, and that's why you continuously have in your career is because even through the losses, they become just this crazy fuel, you know? They really do.
They have to. Again, I think all three of us
Yeah.
could sit here and tell stories from like a young age of whatever it was, just being competitive. You
Mhm.
know, that it's a similar story with any successful athlete, you know, and it's just an obsession with winning. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just you just want to win, you know? So when you don't win, it's like you obsess over why you didn't win, how you could have won, what you need to do to win the next time, you know? And if you're not gonna do it,
Even and some of the things that we cook up even might be kind of like a stretch, you know, like we'll be thinking so deep into things, but that's kind of advantageous too, because it makes you just really analyze and overanalyze, hopefully not to a fault, but to the point to where you're working on all the minute details of everything, you know?
Totally. Dude, so I just got this from, do you guys know the book Relentless
I've heard of
by
it.
Tim Grover?
Mhm.
Okay, so if you haven't read this as an athlete, please go read it. It'll blow your mind. It's the coolest thing. Tim Grover was the trainer / like physical therapist for Kobe, Jordan, everyone that you know. And he just talks about the dark side in you that makes you just a little bit crazy,
Yeah.
but that's what makes you dope at what you do. Like that's what makes you amazing. And he's like,
Mhm.
you got to harness that without letting it make you go crazy.
Yeah.
You just made me think of
That's
it,
what
like,
I was,
you
that's
gotta go read
exactly
that.
what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
hold
and
on.
what
Tim Grover.
Tim
Relentless,
Grover,
yeah.
the book Relentless. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
I
So
know,
I got
it's
Ed.
one thing.
I got Ed My Lead now. You're hooking us up, dude. We got Ed My
got
Lead
you.
and Relentless.
Yeah. The one thing he said in the podcast was, look, the greats don't use the word just or only. Bro, it was only one shot. It was just 1 point. It was just a practice.
Mm.
They don't use those words.
Mhm.
I buy into that, dude. I don't use that for anything now.
you
Smart.
only have one chance.
Ooh, YOLO, baby.
I'm the king of pushing back.
YOLO.
All right, Relentless. I'm ordering this right now on Amazon, huh?
You're gonna love it, dude. It's a short read and is my favorite book.
Nice.
And Marcelo's the biggest Kobe fan ever, so that's
Yeah, he talks about Kobe a bunch in that book.
Yeah, I assume. I'll get it tomorrow by April 3rd. Here we go.
Amazon.
Boom.
Relentless.
Done. Purchased. One click. Bada boom, bada bang. Easy.
Amazon Prime.
Cake. Oh, I love it. Greg, good job. Now when we win the first event, I get to thank you.
Come at me, bro.
Relentless.
Dude, it's placed. The order is placed. It'll be here tomorrow, April 3rd. That's crazy. Amazon is something else, huh?
Yeah.
It is.
It's really
amazing.
Amazon's relentless, to be honest.
Mhm. Well,
nonstop.
The drones are coming next. Just wait.
Yep. They're
You're
gonna
have
fly.
some big ass drones flying around.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so Greggy, let's dive back in. So 2012, obviously good year with Infamous, great year. You achieve essentially the pinnacle of any player's aspirations. To win, be an MVP for their team, be the leader in stats and actually win the event. Let's talk about the next few years where you end up acquiring a really good deal and really monetizing the game and building your brand and turning that into something that was able to, fully support yourself and make paintball more of a job than something that you had to side hustle and all that. Houston Heat, Ironman, and then Impact. So let's go through that phase.
Sure. So right after winning Chicago PSP, we won Chicago MPPL in overtime. And dude, we were on fire. Infamous was awesome. It was super fun. I was happy there. But I was working a 3 a.m. job driving a forklift before going to school, before going to practice. You know what I mean? Like I was hustling and
burning the candle at both ends.
100%.
Yeah.
And I got a call from Impact that was like, hey man, we'll pay you a salary. And to be honest, I called Travis and I was like, hey Trav, I'm going to tell him no. And I told him no. And I got a call 2 hours later and they raised the salary. And I was like, bro, I'm going to go from, I got 4 axes that year. 4 axes. So I went from 4 axes to a salary. Like, so my mind's blown. I'm a college kid. I'm like, I have to go do this. So 2013, I went to Impact and we were like the most stunner number 2 team you've ever seen. We took second at almost every event, but we didn't win anything. So it was a bit of a heartbreaker. And I was like, dude, This is the jam. This is my team. I love this. I was so happy. And then once again, I got a phone call from Houston Heat, who had called me a couple times because their inaugural year was 2012. And I was like, I don't know who these guys are. I'm out. I'm not interested, blah, blah, blah. They called me that year. I said no again, and they were offering me double what I was making. Then I got a call from Tim Montresor, and he goes, listen, man, he called me. They're going to take you, me, and Ryan Moorhead, and they're going to more than double the salary. It was like 2.5 times what I was getting paid. It was like a worker's person's salary. And I was like, how do I say no? Like, how do I say no? I can literally officially play paintball full time as an athlete. Done. So I did. And I went to Houston Heat for 3 years, and it was awesome. We played so much paintball. Like, Houston Heat is what allowed me to hit the 10,000 hour rule. If you think about how much, you guys know the 10,000 hour rule?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. I figured, but
yeah.
So 10,000 hours is a lot of time. I started counting back one day, like doing averages. It's hard to hit 10,000 hours. With them, I did 100%. So I was finishing up school. I was playing paintball full time. I was traveling like a madman. I'd leave my house for 60 plus days at a time, just bouncing between clinics, events, practices, whatever. I was loving life and getting a salary doing it. That's where it really started to monetize.
Have you calculated at all, Greg, like how many hours you think you've played paintball?
Dude, so I averaged 4 hours a weekend, which I've done more than that. Since I started
that's so low.
playing.
Why?
That's so well, you think, you miss a Christmas, so that's time off. You think event weekends, you don't spend that much time playing. You're at the field, yeah, but playing, right? So at a practice, you probably spend hours on end playing or on the clipboard, you know what I mean? So I try to aim super low.
I feel like those hours count though.
Yeah, dude.
Your
So I had
mind
this conversation with someone else too. I think if you're at the field, no. But if you're in the pit, on the clipboard, or on the field, you're in it. You know what I mean?
Yes, I agree.
So I tried to count those hours.
Okay.
So I said 4 hours a weekend, like all the way from divisional paintball. And I was over 10,000 hours like a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's
so
like
much,
over 20 years, that would be like 8,000 if you're doing 4 hours a week. Oh, actually, no, if you're doing 4 hours a day, 2 days a weekend, that would be like 8,000 hours over 20 years. So
then you count all the times you play during the week. Houston Heat, I'd play for 2 weeks at a time. And we play from 8 to 5, like play from 8 to 5. So I definitely crushed the 10,000 hour rule, but pretty much I'm not getting any better than I already am. You know what like I'm stuck. No, but
can't do anything else.
This is me. No, but yeah, I started talking about that one time, and I actually went back and tried to figure it out.
Me too. Yeah, that's why I asked. Yeah.
So what was it coming up in Houston Heat? I'm sorry.
That's all good. Yeah, that's a better question. Move on from the hours.
Okay. So coming up in Houston Heat. So the first year was brutal, bro. Dynasty. We played you guys not to get relegated.
That's right.
Like it was a tough year, 2014.
That was when the Russians went back to Art Chaos.
That's when the Russians went to Art Chaos.
Yep.
But it was 2014 was tough. It was just another year, honestly. But I was doing what I wanted to do. 2015, 2016 were incredible. That's when I played with the Russians. I learned a lot from those guys. It was awesome being alongside people who are considered greats. And it was when you maxed out, you know what I mean? Where you're like, I can't get much better at this skill no matter how much time I put into it unless I change what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, unless I'm going to change this skill set, I think I'm maxed out. Like 9 out of 10 snapshots I'm hitting, like I felt really, really sharp those years. But it was taxing. It was like you play paintball, you go to work, you come home, you repair, you eat dinner, you go to bed. You go play paintball, you repair, you eat, you go to bed. Like that was it. That's all we did.
And we talked about before the show how sometimes having a little bit of time off to not think about paintball actually drives that engine even further and harder, because
once you reach a certain...
of course, that's right. Yeah. This is not in the early stages, obviously, but once you're a well-established professional and you've been playing for, 10, 15, we've been playing for close to 20 years now. sometimes a couple weekends gives you, I don't know, or even longer sometimes, like a month. And when you get back, you're like, oh man, it's time to feast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It was one of those things. There was definitely some burnout, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
I still played a lot, but when there was opportunities to play that I didn't have to, I passed. Like you go to a clinic and they're like, hey, play some games with us. I was like, nah, I'm good, man. Let me rest my knees. Let me rest my face. Like,
Totally.
give me a sec. But I thrive on that now. I'm the king of at practice. I see other teams and I call it the divisional mentality.
Mm-hmm.
They think that playing from 8 to 5 is the most important thing. Whereas I think what they accomplish from 8 to 5, I can do between 8 and noon.
Mm-hmm.
But if I buckle down, right? If I do what I'm supposed to do the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm the king at practice of being like, hey man, how many points do we have left? I'm not asking because I'm exhausted. I'm not asking because I'm hurt. I'm asking because I need to know for mental state. Is it 2? Cool. Is it 30? No, I'll be at my top of my game for 30 points. Just tell me so I know like where to be, and I think some people take that wrong, but like you said, the time off where now I just play on the weekends. I don't play during the week. I don't do 7 days a week anymore. It makes me want to be there.
Well, you're still working really hard though, like on the physicality. You understand the game of paintball, and once again, you're no slouch out there. So, the fact that you're working your butt off in the gym and then, still playing on the weekends and getting in the reps, that's where you want to be,
Totally. And I realize this stuff in the gym for me allows me to do what I think of, right? So I think there's a lot of moves for people who could be good, where they look at it and they go, ooh, I don't know if I can do that. Whether it's like a 90-degree cut or a dive over something, whatever it is, right? I've never looked at something and been like, I don't know, man. Like if it comes to mind, I'm doing it. Like period, the end.
Yeah.
And I think the stuff outside of the field is what allows you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen you scale a mini W, dude.
Oh yeah. I'm scaling the W's, and I'm trying to play paintball every second. Like this shit is the most fun ever. Anytime that I can be out there shooting paintballs at a pan, a target, other players, whatever, I'm trying to be playing the game. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. Yeah, I'm with it, man. It's funny. I've enjoyed it so much, but putting it out there, dude, I think I'm done after this season.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to hang up.
Whoa. Did you just put that on the show?
You're
this
welcome.
Is world.
So this is the farewell tour.
This is the farewell tour.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Whoa.
But that also means that MAP is doing. That also means that MAP is doing really well, and you're in a very good place in your life outside of paintball, which is actually amazing.
Dude, it's doing well. It's still in the growing spurts, right? Every dollar goes back into the machine, that kind of thing. But it's given me something to be dedicated to outside of the game that I really do enjoy. And not playing just gives me that extra time with the family, dude. Like I'm ready, and I feel like I've done what I needed to do. And the reason I've come up with that is I don't want to do some of the little things anymore. I don't want to go shoot a pan anymore. I will, and I am, but I don't want to. You know what I mean? And once that hits, it's hard to get it out. And if I'm not going to try to be the best every time I step on, I don't want to be a part. You know what I mean?
You might start really stunting even more now that you just don't care.
Yeah.
You might realize hey, actually, you know what? I cracked the code, guys. It's time. I got another couple seasons.
So funny. So I was literally I was doing this out of practice. So I play with the Aftermath guys a lot because they have a lot of NorCal guys now.
Yeah.
And we're out of practice, and I kept cutting through the middle and doing multiple bunker moves, right? And they're like, what do you do? Are you the new middle guy? And I'm like, I'm just doing whatever I feel like doing. Dude.
Yeah.
And that looked like fun. So I'm in it,
Love that.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of breaks my heart, dude. Oh no, Greg, I'm going to miss seeing you at all the events. That's but in the same token, I'm super happy for you, and I'm so proud of you, man, and everything that you've accomplished and the beautiful life that you've created. That's a dream come true, and I'm just super stoked for you, brother.
Yeah, it's been wild. My only debate now is do I tell my son, hey, listen, dude, your dad used to be sick, Or do I just wait till he's like 10? He's like, have you heard of paintball? And I'm like, no, man, let's go try.
Yeah.
And then
Just play dumb.
I just
Dude,
bumper all
that'd be
his friends.
so funny. That'd be so funny. So funny.
The latter might be the best option, you know?
Yeah.
So
It'd be like that paintball movie where the guy was doing flips over cars and like jumping in through windows, shooting everybody. That's you.
It's going to look just like that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. So
Yeah,
with Heat, you were on Heat for how many seasons?
3
seasons. Okay.
3
And
seasons.
then that brings us to about 2016 or 17?
16 Impact.
18.
Yeah.
Oh. Who'd you go with? Oh,
Talking
you went to Ironman. Yeah, you went to Ironman.
I went to Ironman.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm like, I know my own history. No.
Well, no, you said Heat brings you to 2018. That's not true. Brought you to 2016.
16. No.
You played on Heat until 2015. Then you went to the Ironman, didn't you?
No. I played.
Where did you? You did not play
I
with
played
Heat after
17.
15.
I played 17, 18 with the Ironman.
So who'd you play with for 16?
Heat.
Yeah.
14, 15, 16.
Don't let Marcelo try to bully you on here, man.
I know my own life. 14, 15, 16, I played with Heat. 17, 18 with the Ironman.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Trying to prove me wrong.
He's
I was
like-
there.
Yeah. All right.
He's the encyclopedia.
Yeah. He broke.
I thought after you missed the buzzer that you were out of there.
Oh, this guy.
He's gonna bring it up, dude.
Yeah.
No, I
Chad was in
honestly,
the way is what happened.
Chad was in the way, that little fucker.
Yeah.
I honestly, my bad. I honestly thought you did, but yeah, okay. So 17.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, how did it
Yeah.
go?
No, it's
with-
okay.
with
He
Ironman
knows
too?
his life, bro. He knows his own life, bro.
Dude, you'd be amazed at how many people don't know their own life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me
But
being
there's
one of
stuff that you guys, yeah, right. There's stuff you guys brought up that I was like, oh yeah, that did happen.
Oh
But,
yeah, of course.
shoot. So 2018, I'm like, man, I should probably start trying to be an adult, right? All I do is play paintball and work out. So well, MAP was always in the background, but
What does MAP stand for?
mixed
Mixed
athletic
athletic
performance.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Map is dope. Map is really tight. I like it.
Thanks, man.
Sick.
So 2018, I think I'm the only one to ever quit Houston Heat, I think. But
Oh, okay.
I quit because I got a job
The
selling.
Russians all quit.
Oh, that's true. They went back though.
Yeah, I know. They still quit.
That's true. I'll give you that. Okay. All right, they quit. Damn it. Thought I had it. Yeah, so I did it because I started selling paint for a company, and
Mhm.
GI sponsored Heat, and they were like, listen, bro, you can't be on this team if you're doing that. And I was like, I'm just trying to have a job. Like, I think there's opportunity here. I'm sorry, I have to be done. I'm trying to make money like outside of being an athlete.
Oh yeah, you went and worked with gel caps, right?
With gel caps, yeah,
Yeah,
dude, that
yeah,
paint
yeah.
was great too.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I went and worked at gel caps. Gel caps fell through in like a year, which was tough. So I went and worked at Dye, which is a whole nother story. So I worked at Dye, and at the end of 18 with the Ironman, which we played well. We brought a team that hadn't touched Sunday in 2 years, which I didn't know when I joined the team. To some top finishes. You know, we had a second place at one of the events. We brought some good players on the team. We were like rebuilt the franchise a little bit. But at the end of that year, I had a bit of a falling out with Dye, not to get too deep into it. And I went back to Impact. And with Impact year, it went a little AWOL, dude. I started playing every point right off the break, like was playing well, felt good. We won Vegas. And then
That's right.
yeah, dude, something went wrong, and I basically didn't play the rest of the season. I got a couple points here and there.
Huh.
I don't want to say.
Why do you think that was?
I don't have a good answer, man. So the explanation that was given to me was that I didn't play the role that they wanted me to play.
Yeah.
So they didn't pick me up to be a front guy, which was fine. They picked me up to be a 2, but then they told me that I wasn't doing my job as a 2, and I didn't fully agree or understand. So it
Interesting.
was what it was. Yeah,
Well,
I actually got cut. So it's the second time I've ever been cut.
That team, that organization, you know, Impact, they have an idea in their minds of how you need to be, and if you're not that, then you're not in. You know.
Yeah. It sucked. I thought, I mean, even in 2013, I thought that was going to be the team I played the rest of my career with, but it didn't work out. So I mean, even at the end of that, dude, I was really upset. I saw it coming. It was actually funny. I had teams coming up to me at World Cup like, "Hey man, what are you doing next year?" And I'm like, "Am I cut? Did no one tell me?" Like, straight up, I got multiple offers, and I was like, "This is weird." But yeah, so I got the call that winter. So one season with Impact, and now I'm back to Infamous.
Yeah, shout out to Infamous. You got the band.
Yeah, it's a great organization. I really love what Travis is building and has been building for a long time. Callie obviously has a huge part of that as well. He's been extremely loyal for a long time. You guys have a good core.
Just all around great dudes.
You guys were a team that I was really concerned with going into Vegas 2020, right? Revamped, and I put a lot of time into thinking about you guys because we had you in our prelim bracket. But I think it's a matter of time for sure. Cody has been playing lights out. You guys have a great starting core. Even got to give it to him, young Harry. You know, he's a solid player. You know, he really is. Yeah. So you guys have got quite a squad.
And not just 2020, 2021 as well. We got our eyes on you guys. You know, you guys have a solid group of people that know how to play paintball. And if you do, you know, what you guys know how to do, you can be in those finals, you know? Absolutely.
Totally. For what it's worth for the team, we went into that first event where we were beating the brakes off of really good teams in practice. Legitimately, I know everyone wants to be a good practice team, but
but you know how that goes. It's never good, right?
It's never good, right? So we saw it, and unfortunately, I felt like what happened to us in Vegas was we beat ourselves, like truly beat ourselves. I know everyone says it, but I'm talking like shooting teammates, stepping out of bounds, like really dumb individual things that didn't come together when we needed it. So it bit us. I mean, we lost to you guys by a point. We lost to AC in overtime. You know, like everything was on the edge, and it just wasn't enough.
Yeah.
That field was fun. That was a crazy field.
It was super fun. You know what's wild about that field? Talking about going up the middle and like bunkering people.
Yeah.
That move that I was making on the inside up to the 50 bricks, I tried it 3 times in practice. And I was like, Trav, let me try this. And I got my head blown off 3 times in a row. And I was like, all right, I'm going back to the Doritos. And then that's all I did at the event was that inside move. And I was like, well, I guess it does work.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, practice doesn't always tell exactly how the tournaments are going to. And I would even argue that kind of like 50-50, it's kind of, you know, once you get to the tournament and you see how teams are playing it, the game changes. And then it changes again on Sunday. It continuously just keeps changing, you know?
Yeah, evolves with every learning curve and continues.
Yeah, and then whoever's got the Rubik's Cube figured out on that Sunday afternoon is going to take it, you know?
That's what you say. I just close my eyes, dude. Let's go.
You got to get a little lucky too, you know?
Yeah.
You got to get a little lucky.
Dude, just going to move this sticker here.
Yeah.
I mean, World Cup finals, right? For Dynasty against X Factor. My loader's off the break. Blake goes to the wrong place. We lose. Didn't we lose?
We lost Blake. We lost Blake because he ran to the wrong bunker. Him and Dalton switched positions last minute and didn't do the play that we were supposed to do. And it was like a very important, like it was so crucial that our Dorito players did the right play because all of our focus was on the Dorito side and Blake went to the wrong spot.
So you got to get a little bit lucky too.
Yeah.
Preparation. And a little bit of luck.
That's all bad.
I'll take it.
We got a little lucky.
I'll take that. I got that big ass trophy right here.
Yeah, bro, dude, a W is a W. I don't care how you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But I mean, with Infamous, like it sucked that last year was what it was, right? I feel like with more time together, we could have been you know, a threat, like a real threat. So now it's like, okay, coming off a dry season, like what's it going to look like? How do we feel? You know, we got a chance to play together at that Texas invitational thing.
Is that the first time you guys have all gotten together?
Yeah. Okay. And we actually tried some new people out. We had 11 dudes there. So up from our normal, like 7 or 8, you know?
Yeah, I know. Skeleton,
truly, right? Which is how I like to run it anyways. But it was good, dude. We went 6-2 there, which, I mean, that doesn't say much, right? But I thought we played really well. We did some comeback points. We won some overtime stuff. Like, we got a mix of everything, and everyone felt good.
Yeah, you got to gel. You got to make sure that you know what's going on.
How's that kid Jonah playing? Is he going to be on the team?
Good, man. Yeah, he's still on the team.
Awesome.
He's solid. He's just such a nice kid. He's an athlete for sure.
Yep.
And he's got the darkness in him, dude. He does.
I
He's
agree.
just such a nice, like, hometown Wisconsin boy, and he learns quickly because he's humble. But sometimes I just want to poke the bear and be like, dude, who are you? You know, like jab him in the ribs. Come on.
He came
So
out
he's from Wisconsin.
Yeah,
he's from Wisconsin, huh?
He came out to a clinic at that I did at Outdoor Adventures out there in Wisconsin like 4 years ago, something like that. I was like, man, this kid, he was the best one at the clinic for sure. And had all the skills. So
awesome.
it's really cool to see him on the pro field now. He works his butt off. His dad supports him. I know they travel around and they do whatever it takes to be part of paintball. So
dude, his family reminds me of my family. Like, his parents are super supportive, super friendly. They love being a part of it and seeing Jonah like attack this dream that he has, and it's just been really cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. You love to hear stuff like that. That's the dream, right? There's a lot of people listening to this that want to, go pro and make a living out of this. And if you work hard at it, go to, learn everything you can. Don't be too like noble to go and learn from people, take clinics and do whatever you can.
Yeah, it's so readily available now. Like
it is.
We didn't have clinics. That was not a thing. We had some old dude beating our brakes off. Like, learn, kid.
Just getting pelted.
That's how it was.
Absolutely.
Take advantage of it. I was sitting there watching a VHS. Actually, one of my favorite moves I learned from Ryan Greenspan from a VHS video.
No way.
Dude, the inside out move. He was playing the Naughty Dogs in a 7-man event, and the dude was shooting like down the wire, and he wrapped the inside, shot him in the loader, and then went back to the outside. And I was like, that was dope. And that's where I picked it up. That's where I do it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Greeny, man.
Good. Yeah.
The wizard.
Yeah. Thanks, Greenspan. Appreciate that move, dude.
The wizard. The wizard. He's been clocking in for a long time, that old vampire.
Yeah. I know. His blood source has got to be running low, like his, the supply.
I think it's fuller than it's ever been.
No, but I mean the supply chain. Or do you think he keeps a fresh source of blood?
Yeah, I think he has a fresh source. Yeah, I think he might even be drinking Sloan's blood, to like re-up every night. Maybe that's why he had Sloan. That might be why he had Sloan.
He's the Lance Armstrong of paintball.
Oh man, blood doping.
I love it. I don't know what else explains it. I mean, he's almost 45 years old, and he's just like one of the best athletes out there, hands down.
We're gonna have a nasty Masters time.
Dude, our Masters team is gonna be so good.
It's gonna be so good.
Yeah, Thomas and Ryan are pretty much there. Thomas is there, right? Thomas can play on the Masters now. It's 40 or is it 45?
Yeah, so it's 40. He can play on the Masters, and now when he goes to play 10-man, he's worth 0 points.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, dude. So Infamous is about to get stacked.
Oh, that's so funny.
It's
so
heavy.
Dude, that's rad.
Yeah.
Hold on, what do you mean Infamous is about to get stacked for Woods Ball? Like there's no tier above pro. It doesn't matter what he's ranked.
Yeah, but it matters who can be on your team, right? So Travis plays, he's 0. Chris Lasoya plays, he's 0. Now Thomas is 0, which means they can get another nasty dude.
Wait, what do you mean? I thought it's pro. Like, so why is there?
No, once you're over 40, your points change in the Woods Ball stuff.
Interesting.
Once you're over 40, your points change in Woods Ball. But how does that affect? You're talking about for like IC
picking up people.
I'm talking about ICPL and stuff,
but it's a pro division, isn't it?
It's open. I don't know.
It's
for
open.
Sure.
Yeah, no, hold on.
Hang on. But they were just talking about this at the Texas event, right? Thomas is like, I'm with 0 points now, right? So Chris Lasoya is still a great dude, decent at paintball. But let's be honest, we could put a stunner in there that would be a little bit better than Chris.
But it's open. Anyone could be in that spot.
There's some limitation, dude.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know either. I've never played one of those. My understanding was that they're pro and they're open. So maybe they have that for the Masters. I don't know.
Something. They were just all excited about it, and I was like, sweet.
That's awesome.
A bunch of old dogs. They want to come back and sandbag.
Yeah.
I like it.
Heck yeah. Well, G-Man, before we let you go, I just want to kind of dive into you as a Dorito player and allow the listeners to get some kernels of knowledge from you on how to best attack that position, if there's a player who really wants to play that, and how they can give themselves the best chance at going the distance over there.
Stay dangerous, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
straight up.
So I think being a front Dorito guy is like the biggest conundrum, because every coach ever is like, all right, there's only 2 guys going that way. Be super aggressive, but don't die. And you're like,
Yeah.
what?
Yes.
Every time, right?
Yes.
You're like, all right, cool. All right. So my biggest thing for being on in that position where it's like, be aggressive but stay alive, is avoiding gunfights, right? So I try not to go toe to toe with every single person that I run into trying to stop me. And the way you do that is spatial awareness. I think too many people are like, oh, I have this one small section to fight out of. Doritos are huge, and more often than not, they're staggered. So when they're staggered, you offset, right? You can sneak off the back or out to the side and play 2 Doritos at once and give yourself different bunkers. So what I tell people to do is isolate. If there's 2 guys trying to stop you, find a way to block one of them out. That way you're only working against one guy, and using all that space is what allows you to do that. So that's not like a super helpful tip unless you know what I'm talking about. But if you can understand that concept, you can exponentially get better.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah. No,
That's
right.
my biggest thing, dude. It's the only way, because if you go toe to toe with everyone in front of you, you're going to lose just as much as you win, right? And a 50-50 player is not getting up the ranks. And the only way you do that is isolating guys, and you have to find that space.
I like that.
That comes from
it
comes from walking the field and knowing your checklist, right? Like you get into Dorito 1, you know who can stop you, and you know, okay, if I back up to this spot, person A can't see me anymore. So now I work on person B. I put person B in, now I can move to the next spot. Then you get into that spot and it goes, okay, now person B can't see me. I just got to deal with person A, right? And knowing those angles comes from the field walk and practice and all that stuff.
And as that stuff goes, right, you're like, all right, person A, person B, person A, person B. You can start to make pretty educated guesses. Like, listen, man, if person A is this way and person B is this way, the snake guy's on the fire, like he's flying. One of them isn't, right? So there are times where I take an educated guess, like, hey, I won the first battle, I'm going to go. So if person B was on me, yeah, I'm going to die, but 90% of the time he's not. So I start taking those bites more and more and more as I get a little bit more educated in making those guesses.
It's a numbers game.
Yeah, exactly. You're playing the stats the entire time.
That's right. Yeah, and you got to be doing your homework too, obviously, and really know what you're doing out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just to learn that, I think you push the envelope in practice. You know what I mean? Like the first 5 to 10 points in practice, I'm probably dying early, but that's okay. Like I'll tone back from there and figure it out. But I'm going to push the envelope as hard as I can until someone tells me I can't.
Yeah. Absolutely. And keep doing it. Like if something's working and you're pushing it, don't pull back, keep running that over and over and over and find different ways to do it until they can stop you, and then find a way to get around that and keep playing that game and just working it,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Love
Hell
that,
yeah,
man.
dude.
Well, brother, it's been amazing having you on, Greg. Thank you so much for the time, and congratulations with everything with your beautiful family and the business. And we can't wait to see you in about a month here.
Yeah, dude, I'm counting down. I really appreciate it, guys. It's been super fun. I enjoyed reminiscing. I'm going to go try to tell these stories to my wife. She won't understand, but I'm going to try anyway.
I love it, dude.
Yeah, bro.
Greggy, where one last time can everybody keep up with you, follow you on Instagram for map training or personal, whatever areas you would like for people to be able to reach out?
I'm on literally every platform, but the easiest way to find is at Greg Siewers 14 or at Train with Map. Both of them will get to me because I'm not cool enough to have a secretary. So,
so ask him questions, people. Yeah, dude. A couple weeks from now, you're gonna have a secretary. Don't worry. Ask questions. Make sure that you pick his brain. He's got super valuable insight into obviously training, and you can get training done by Greg as well. So really tap in on that and take your game to the next level.
Please, I really enjoy it. I promise I won't blow you off. It might take me a day to respond, but I'll give you a good answer.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Hey, much love, Greg. You stay safe out there, all right, brother?
Stay dangerous.
Yeah, stay dangerous.
Stay dangerous.
Stay sharp. Yep.
Boom.
Stay sharp.
Later.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for listening and tuning in. As always, we are so appreciative of every single one of you listeners. We really hope you enjoyed the show. If you guys like the show, love the show, want to be part of the show, head over to ptgpaintball.com and you guys can sign up, become a supporter. You can listen to all of our episodes on there, watch YouTube, whatever it might be. Everything is available on the website. Our website is brought to you by Rusty Glaze at Content Pursuit. And as always, guys, we're going to be back at it again very, very soon. This will be the last show until next week. So we hope everybody has a very happy Easter. I hope you get to enjoy time and great food with your family and your loved ones. And we'll see you soon.